Are you guys aware that we almost see no titties in movies anymore? And we only see dicks? Has anybody noticed this? Yes! I love titties! Big old titties!
What's up, you silly bitches? We're here today on the CAMELCAST with my boy, the founder and creator of Death. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, my dude. How about you? The race and everything go good?
As you can see, I'm sunburnt as hell. You can't really see it, but like you can see it over here.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Dude, everyone loves tan lines. You're fine, dude.
Yeah, dude, I got crispy as hell. But we finished fifth. I was running third, and we were 30 laps in. And I go into turn 3, and my brakes just go to the floor. And I'm like, well, I'm going to die. So I started pumping the brakes, and I got it to stop, and I was sideways. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went down the straight, and I started pumping it, and I was like, I can just, like, play it cool for the last 20 laps or something and just make it. And my brakes were on fire, man. And I was like, nah, I just went down pit road and rolled into my pit stall without any brakes and called it. So but we ended up finishing 5th anyway, so it was good.
That's awesome, dude.
It was like Samantha Bullock says, I just got home around 5 p.m. She was at my race Saturday. Thank you, Samantha.
Hell yeah.
It was awesome, dude. I got to meet her whole family. Snafu says, quit being gay. I ain't even gay. I mean, I love penis, but that doesn't make me gay.
No, it's the tan lines.
It's the tan lines. You gay.
Busted. What a homo.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Brad says, why are you wearing Lego Marvel t-shirt? I got it at conference in like 2012 at GameStop. I mean, why else would I be not wearing it? Wicked Virtue, what's up, baby? I was just talking about you pre-stream. How you doing? Thank you, by the way. So let's give everybody a little update on the show today. This is Joe Ball. He's goated as hell. He's easily the best artist out there, in my opinion. Every time I see it, I'm like, damn, this shit looks great.
You're objectively correct.
He's the artist, and you also wrote and created Death, yeah?
Yes, sir. That
Dude,
is correct.
It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. It's a labor of love.
Yeah, dude. So tonight we will be doing the fight milk. Joe Ball is going to do his own special thing, and I'll let you guys see that when and if it happens. All right, so you can see it because it's really gross and terrible. You remember when people in the chat? You remember when my boy did hot dog milk? It's like that, but it's awful. It's not like hot dog milk, but it's gross. Thank you, Josh Bosch said, I really enjoyed the race and meeting you. Looking forward to any more races in C. 2 weeks away, we're going to be racing at Tri-County Speedway in North Carolina. Thank you, Josh Bosch. I love you, and I appreciate you for the first gold boy. But don't forget, the second gold boy is Holy Ozone. Welcome, Joe. I hear you're a boss. He is a boss.
You heard correct, my dude.
So, dude, tell me.
I literally own a company, so yeah, I'm the fucking boss.
Well, there you go. Tell me how you got into comics, man. Did you just like read, and then you read it when you were younger? You're into comics, and you're just like, I'm just gonna do this shit.
Yeah, like I think this is probably not an uncommon story by any means, but like I was a kid of the '80s, and probably somewhere around like when Superpowers was on like Saturday mornings, and like comic books were still commonplace at like gas stations and grocery stores. Like, they were pretty accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was into all that stuff, and I was immediately, like, as soon as I was old enough to understand what I was looking at, was into it. And I pretty much decided when I was like 6 or 7, like in the late '80s, like this is what I want to do with myself. And I unfortunately stuck to it. Like it's paying off now, but like it's still a difficult road to travel in between.
Dude, Death's been going ham as hell. I feel like the last your campaign's going awesome.
Yeah, it's doing gangbusters. I'm hoping to get it to 100K here soon, and I'll probably close it out around that number just so I have like final print numbers and I don't have to have like a mystery world of how much I have to get out there. But we'll have extra copies and put stuff up on the website, which is in process now. So we'll have that launching anytime in the next week or two.
Well, rock on, dude. We'll pull that shit up and we'll gush over it here in a little bit. But before we do that, Ashley with the third gold, boy. I love you. I appreciate you, baby. Thank you for your emoji. You're beautiful as hell. And don't forget CC over on locals. Get some on the screen for the next race for another gold, boy. I appreciate you. Yeah, dude. It's been a wild ass year. It's been a wild ass year going everywhere. Are you good doing any conventions or anything this year?
I'll be down in Tampa Bay at the end of July. There's I'll be honest, like I don't even know what the name of the con is. I just know it's a comic book convention in Tampa where a bunch of my, our mutual friends
Yeah.
are going to be at, and creator friends, since we all kind of get together and network and see each other that way and get some real life time. I'll go down there and I'm going to get tickets. I'll go for like a day maybe, but it's really just like an excuse to have a write off. So
Yeah,
get a little time out of the area. Cause like seriously, like I've only had vacations like in recent history, So
yeah.
any chance I get to like do a little work and have some fun, I'm gonna try to take advantage of the fun factor.
Dude, isn't that weird? So like when I was working at GameStop or working at Walmart or whatever I was doing, I would be working and it would be, it's like a nightmare, of course, but I would be looking forward to that one vacation every maybe year or 2 years where I just went to maybe like a cabin or went snowboarding or maybe I went to the beach, whatever had happened. And now, since it's kind of in my job to go places and work with different people and go to cons, make appearances and travel. Like in 2 days, I'll be at Donuts Ranch for his gun party where we're shooting guns and stuff. Donut
That
operator.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, dude, I haven't been to a range in a while, so I'm excited for
Yeah.
it. But like, dude, it's hard to juggle all of it when you're just. I'm going to, I'll be at Montsuri. I'll be there. I'll be at the Southeast Game Exchange. There's one that's in my hometown. I'll be in as well, which is weird how it worked out like that. And then there's racing 20 times this year in different states and shit. So, dude, it's almost like I like kind of wish I could go back to when it wasn't like. Now, even though you get to smash a different chick in every city, which is cool, right?
Cam's got a gal at every port. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dude.
You're like a dirty ass pirate. Look at you.
For some odd reason, man, I cannot go for every time I see a girl, it's like a 5. I'm like, no, I'll go for the 8, and then the 8 is insane every time. They're like, can I move in? Can I move in with you? And I'm like, what the fuck? No, like we're just smashing pistons in a hotel. What are you talking about? Move in with my ass, crazy.
It's because they know you have a nice house.
Shit, I don't even know if they know that. Like I was just meeting them at a bar at a con, and they're just wild ass girls.
There's things where people aren't in certain places unless they've got enough money to be there. And I'm not saying like it's super expensive. It's just one of those things where you either look stressed out or you look comfortable at events.
Yeah,
and it could be all various reasons why. But it's like I try to make sure I'm ready and I've got some money backed up for anything I have to go to like that. Because I know it's not going to happen much. It's only going to be a few times a year. But I want to feel like totally at ease while I'm doing it. Like I don't want to have to be worrying about anything or penny pinching. Like I just want to be able to treat like servers and bartenders like ridiculously good.
Dude, I agree. Dude,
I'm not going to have a lot of chances to do that kind of stuff.
Right off.
Yeah.
Right off. Speaking of right offs, Shanny dropping the first red boy of the stream. Wait, hold on. There we go. Shanny says, for the guy, Joe Ball, thank you so much for being here tonight. Everybody be sure to check out his work. It's insane.
Thank you, Shanny. Yes, ducks you're a sweetheart, Shanny.
Y'all. Look at all those ducks. Duck. Appreciate you, Shanny. I love you. First red boy. That means I'm going to crack open my damn claw. I told Shanny like 10 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago I was going to drink claws tonight like a white bitch. So we're drinking claws, Shanny. It's the first show back. I know I was off Saturday because the race, and I planned on doing a makeup thing, but unfortunately it didn't work out because I was so damn busy the whole time. I never stopped. Never damn stopped. So thank you so much, Shanny. I love you. I appreciate you. And don't forget Samantha Bullock as well. I appreciate you, Samantha. Tell Ozzy to stop being so Ozzy. Tell Izzy to stop being so shy. There you go. Anyways. Oh, got the burps, gonna die.
I'm going Belvedere vodka.
Belvedere.
Tonight, so.
Is that what you're drinking?
Yeah, Yeah, it's like Mr. Belvedere. Like the stupid TV show, but it's a vodka.
Why does all vodkas have these clear bottles with like white, like etched paint on it? Every single one of them.
They all want to be Grey Goose. It's just the thing now. You know?
dude, I don't know, dude. I can't do vodka. It's just not my drink, man. Now,
It's
granted,
not mine either, but it's what I got. You know what I'm saying?
like if we end up doing fight milk, the versions of fight milk, then the issue is all I have is vodka. So I have to drink vodka tonight, which is going to be awful. And it's like from like 8 years ago, probably. I don't drink it, man. In my house.
I know. Yeah.
God,
This shit's been sitting in the pantry for like,
still here.
6 months now.
It might have been here when I bought the house. I'll be honest.
Mhm.
There's a bunch of bottles in the little holes. And I'm like, I don't remember even buying any of that shit. So it might have been the old people that I bought the house from. I'm going to drink their old vodka with their old lips on it. Their old gross ass. Dude, they were old as hell. When I bought this house, people I bought it from were like, yeah, we're getting a different house because we can't go up the stairs anymore. Because they were like both 85.
Yeah.
And I've fallen down these bitches. I fell down the stairs the first week I lived here, almost broke in half. All right. And then like 3 weeks ago, I was running up the stairs and I fell up the stairs and landed on my pinky and it was bent straight backwards. So I just did the whole major pain thing and I slammed it back into place. It was wild as hell.
Cam, you got to be careful. How are you going to crush puss from port to port if you're always hurting your back? I mean, the chiropractor can't solve everything. You got to be more careful. There's women waiting for you, and you're fucking it all up because of these goddamn stairs.
Can't hit it from behind. I hurt my back running from a German Shepherd.
Ow, ow, ow.
Yeah,
ow.
and I don't want to look him in the eyes. You know what I'm saying? There's something about that. Like, don't look me in the eyes. Like, if you're like a random hookup from a different state, don't look me in the eyes. I can't do that.
Well, it's because it's like pornog. The minute you're done with it, even if you thought you were seeing some hot chick just 5 minutes ago, now all of a sudden you're like, get this dirty whore off my screen. I'm gonna fucking pig vomit. So
yeah, dude. You'll have like 4 videos lined up ready to go for the next set, Yeah.
I
mean, like you accidentally finish on like the previous video and you just like close them all begrudgingly out. Get off my screen, you bitches.
Well, it's because your brain goes back to normal. You know, you just clarity. Your cock stopped thinking. And it went back to your brain all of a sudden, and you're like, "Oh no! Now I feel shame." Dude, so you got to get away from it as quick as you can.
we all slammed a pig every now and then. Man, there's this one time where I was like, I shouldn't be doing this, but I got to do this, and because this girl was straight up a ham planet, and I remember it was immediately too. I was like, I finished, and she's just laying there, and I was just like, what have I done? What have I done?
I like ham though.
She's still here. Like, what can I do? So, she's still laying there, looking like a damn beached whale on my bed. Now what am I? Get the hell out, please. All right.
I'm telling you, I've been telling you forever. You need a drug habit, and you just don't listen to me. It solves all of these problems.
God, man, what was wrong with me? God, I'll never forget it. Never forget those dark days of my life.
Yeah.
And it's because the girls canceled on me. Yeah, dude, that's why I got out of the game a little bit. I've been kind of hanging around and just hooking up every now and then, but I'm just too damn focused on YouTube and racing to even think about that shit anymore.
Yeah. Yep. You're a busy man.
Because all they want to do is they want to like move in with you and like, what are we? You ever had a girl do that, Joe? You ever just like hung out with a girl, you bumped uglies. And then she's like, what are we? And I'm like, what the hell? I don't even, what's your name? Like, what do you mean, what are we?
Dude, I'm old. I'm 40. I've already been married for 20 years for half of my life. So you got to understand, dude, like I'm an old man in this world. Like I understand how it all works, but I've been away from it for so long, man, that I'm super I'm not out of touch with how women and men are, but I'm out of touch with how people deal with the current what's the word, like the environment for dating and meeting people.
Could you imagine, okay, say you're married for 20 years, could you imagine being forced back into the dating game after 20 years out? Because when it happened to me, it was only 7. So I was with my ex-wife for almost 8 years. It's like 7.5 years. When she left, dude, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how to talk to. I've never talked to girls. Like last time I talked to girls, I was freaking 19, and now I'm 27, right? So
yeah,
it was weird. But luckily, I just downloaded Tinder, and it was easy. I just downloaded Tinder and like put in my bio something like stupid as hell, like something about donating spaghetti to like African kids. I don't even remember what it was. It was
Spaghetti
something,
to
yeah,
Dude,
it
those
was,
Africans need
dude,
spaghetti or they won't survive.
it was completely random, completely random. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I just put a picture of my abs on there. Like I was just flexing and my abs were shredded back then. And I was like, all right, cool. And I'm just gonna start swiping on bitches. So I'm like swiping, left, right, left, whatever. And like after a day, I had like 15 matches. And I just like text the girl. I'm like, what's up? And we or I said something real stupid because I was really lighthearted about all of it. We talked a little bit, and I was like, you should come over and we'll drink. And she's like, all right, cool. And then she just came over like the next day. And then like we smashed pistols, obviously. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't expect this to happen. And then it just kept happening. Like I was like, wow, this is so easy. What the fuck? Like didn't have to even do anything. It was great. I kind of enjoyed it. But then it got boring because then you face the uncomfortable truth that people are way more similar than they are different. So like,
yeah,
the girl comes over and you're like, what are you into? And she's like, Netflix and wine. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then the next girl comes over and you're like, so what are you into? And she's like, I really like Netflix and like wine or beer. And I'm like, are all these girls the same girl? Like, Jesus.
well, it's like some women do have hobbies, but it's not like common, and they don't really have nostalgia in a big scale either, like men do.
Yeah.
Like we look fondly and like things that remind us of the past, even if the past wasn't great. We usually still find some pearls within the shit, and I don't know. It's like my wife is a girly girl. Like she doesn't get nostalgic for old toys
Yeah.
or things she grew up on. Like I don't know. I think women live in the moment a little bit more
You
and just
ever
don't think some think further ahead, some don't. It just depends. But like a lot of women I know, like they think ahead, but they just kind of live in the day that they're in. And that's fine too. Like I kind of wish I could do that more, you know.
dude, well, I'll say this. By the way, Angel says, fuck dating, I would just be single for life. Dude, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I have girls though that I'll hang out with every now and then, like long-term girls that I think are cool as hell. But I totally get that sentiment. But I think what it is now, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think like women can't think really in depth about things. You ever try? This now, hear me out. I think now because I've had conversations with women, and I'm like talking about like some like, out there shit, like
Okay.
other dimensions and reality and space, and like, did you actually know that there's like a 99.9% chance that we're already in a simulation? Like, and I'm like talking about why that could be true and how long, 7 billion years actually is, and how there's probably been a rise and fall of human civilization like 12,000 times in that time period. Like, and it keeps happening and keeps cycling over. And it probably already happened like millions of years ago, and they created a simulation, and we are currently refreshing over and over in that simulation. And in that simulation, and civilization might be dead already. And we're just like floating away in a dusty ass computer somewhere. And they'll be like, what? Oh my gosh. Have you ever watched Friends or have you ever watched The Office? And I'm like, what? Did you not hear the word? Damn you, bitch. I'm trying to have an insightful discussion about reality and space and shit. And you're over here. You ever seen The Office? I love the one guy that's weird and nerdy and wants to be the boss, and he sucks up to the boss. And I like Steve Carell. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you, bitch?
I think there's a thing where like it's partially comes with age. Like I would say me and my wife both are way more in tune with our thoughts now than we were when we were in our 20s, when we met and stuff. So it just it depends on where you're at in life. And I don't know, I think women have it can be a mix of these things, or it can be down the middle. They either there's to them, I don't think they really put thought into it, but maybe just biologically that like information that doesn't change anything about right now or the immediate future is irrelevant. And I can kind of see that because I'm a little bit of the like I can understand that perception of being like people that are like, well, who killed JFK? I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like literally everyone from that era is dead. All of them. There's no one you can hold responsible. It does not change a goddamn thing now. I get wanting answers, but it doesn't matter. It won't affect anything. So
Yeah.
let's focus on things we can do something about. So, and I think some women just don't care, which is fine too. You know, I get being like, nope, I'm gonna enjoy the moment. I'm not gonna let my brain sink into to the depths of things that
Dude,
don't entertain
I
me.
have that
You know?
trouble. I'll be like, do you ever think about how, we keep putting stuff off for like 20 years that we want to do, and then we never do it, and then we're like about to die. And it's like, and then all we ever, it's like, I just have these weird thoughts pop in my head. Dude, I hung out with this girl one time. She was just like short, adorable, like badass little girl. And that's all we talked about was like space and shit. And like how terrifying black holes are and theories about black holes
Yeah.
and relativity, because Interstellar had just came out. We were talking about relativity and shit like that. It was awesome. And I was like, man, this girl's great. And also she was like a slip and slide, which is real great. And then she moved. And I was like, how could you do this to me? And it was like the only time ever where I like really deeply connected with like a girl that was, and she was from Bumble though. It wasn't Tinder, it was Bumble. Different app.
You can't let them get away though, man, because like that one will sustain you in life. You can't run around just screwing port whores.
She was one of those girls
forever.
She was one of those tiny little girls that would wear like a hoodie and look like, and the sleeves went past her hands.
Yeah.
And she's just flooping it. And she's like, "What's up, dude?" And you're like, "Oh, I just wanted to tell you." You know what I'm saying? She's like, "I just want to hold you like a little baby. You're so cute, me." And but yeah, then she she got the hell out. And like once in a while, I'll see her like she'll like upload something to her story on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh my God, I forgot about her. It's been like a year." And I'll like click on it and I'll be like, I'll just like text her or I'll direct message her on Messenger, and I'm like, "I miss you." And she'll be like, "I miss you too, bro." And I'm like, "Oh, damn, I missed out, man, missed out." But also, my life won't let me do that. Speaking of life, Shani says, "Show the Joe Ball art." You talking about death, like the Indiegogo? Is that what you're saying, Shani? We'll pull it up. I'll pull it up. We'll have to find a link first. Send me the link on Twitter, Shani. Thank you, Shani, by the way. Shani's the top dog today. We're almost a fifth of the way to Five Milk already. I will be doing Naked Snake. I don't know about Joe, but I'll be doing Naked Snake. I'll be peeling my shirt off and jiggling my titties in front of God and everybody. Because I don't care. So it'll be a lot of fun.
I won't, but I'm getting there. Maybe like right before Tampa.
Dude,
I'm in place.
Are you going to Montsuri?
Yeah, I'll be going to Montsuri as well. Probably, 99%.
Okay, cool. I was about to say, what do you mean probably, dude? I'm like,
well, I'm hoping I'm going, but I'm hoping Anna will kind of get us a little bit more hookup this round. Don't quote me on it, but I'm hoping she can sweet talk Matsuri into helping some of us out a little bit. Cause like, dude, you know how this is. This shit costs a small fortune.
Yeah,
rooms are fucking expensive. Flights are insane.
Yeah.
All this stuff costs a lot of money, right off or not. It costs a lot of fucking money to be going every few months. It's a huge amount to have to replace all the time. So
yeah. That's what I now look. I write off everything obviously when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. But it is expensive as shit balls. It's expensive. And people keep telling me like, my buddies and stuff, they're like, yeah, we're not going to do Montsuri. And I'm like, hold on now, damn it. Because I'm going to Montsuri. And people are starting to drop off. And I'm like, stop dropping off. Now, granted, it might mean I get my own table and shit finally. But other than that, dude, like I'm so excited for Montsuri. I'm so excited to have a table and hang out with Nick Ricada and all my boys. And because I know Nick's going for that. So I'm going because me and Nick do our Friday show and he's my boy. So yeah, dude, I just love Montsuri, and I would like to go to Tampa because everybody's going to Tampa, but it's happening literally on one of my race days. So I can't skip out because I can only miss one race this year, only one, because
there's nothing wrong with that, dude. You gotta pick your spots with this stuff, and we know the busy seasons.
Yeah,
it's just how it is. There's gonna be like basically like why you guys don't see me show up on like Flashcast or stuff like during the whole course of like August to January is because I'm at Bengals games all year, and I stay the night in Cincy every time because I'm gonna be wasted. I'm not going home, dude. I gotta have someone to watch the kids for like 3 days because I'm literally in an oblivion for 3 days in downtown Cincy just because of a football game. So You know,
Yeah.
I got set. That's the life I live. Like, I'm not gonna give it up. It's the funnest thing I get to do. It's my luxury.
Yeah.
So
That's
there's no way I'm gonna give that
100%.
up for
That's how it
anything.
is. Yeah. That's how it
Yeah.
is with my racing. Like, they're like, shit. The one race I'm missing this year is the race in September because I'm doing a meetup with Nick.
Yeah.
But our series lets us drop one race from our points, which means I can skip one race and still retain my points position. So that's what I'm doing. So that's the whole idea is because I gotta go to the meetup.
Yeah.
Tristan
Yeah.
says, have you had any races yet, Tristan? Yes, the first race was Saturday. I finished 5th, would have finished 3rd, but my brakes were failing on me. But we finished 5th, and we'll have another race in 2 weeks from Saturday. So in 13 days, 12 days. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll have an entirely new brake set up all across the car so I can prevent that from happening again. Because we're gonna finish 3rd. I'm gonna finish 3rd, 2nd, or 1st, and that's my goal. Because in our series, most series that are oval car series don't have podiums, but our series does. It has like a podium, like Formula One. So you get 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and you all get like little trophies and shit, and you get more points for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and payout. And I'm like, dude, I really want a podium this year because that's the goal. Because I just started racing, dude. I just started racing.
Is there a way we can support your racing?
Well, not really. I've thought about doing sponsor stuff before, but I don't like asking people for stuff. It's weird. The last time I did it, I got swatted and shit because everybody was so mad at me, or well, one guy was. So, and that has nothing to do with why I don't like to ask. I would like to do sponsorship, but it's yeah.
Like, what about your friends? Like, I know I'm putting you on the spot. If you're like, this is business, we're not doing this here. I totally get that. But like, would you be open to the idea? Like, if I was like, how much does it cost? And you're like, this much money. And I'm like, here you go. Slap a Death at Death or a King Toad
Yeah.
sticker somewhere on that
Yeah.
thing.
So
Is that an option?
That would probably be the coolest thing is, let's say I got a big death like logo and thing on the front of my car, on the hood of my car for one race, like just one race. It'd probably be like a couple $100 or something.
Oh, dude.
Probably whatever it costs to get it printed off.
Gotcha.
Because they're expensive as shit to get printed off. So maybe
we'll talk about that later, I suppose. Then
I'm running a car right now, an old Newman car from the Cup Series, but I'm going to get a Pro Cup car hopefully sometime in this season because they're way more competitive for the short track stuff. And I'm going to get like custom like wraps for it and try to do sponsorships and stuff to make it a little bit easier on me because it is brutal. It's so expensive. Like one set of tires is like almost $1,000, and you need one every race. You need a new set every race. So it's brutal. Tristan, I love you. Thank you so much for the gold boy. We are officially at 5 gold boys, halfway to a gold ass knot. 1 pink from a rainbow knot. 1 orange boy is Shanny. 1 red boy is Shanny. I appreciate you. And Ghost Meteor and Locals, I love you. I appreciate you. But yeah, dude, it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. I'm real excited to get it going. I'm real excited to go to damn meetups. I know me and you, we went to Cincinnati last year. I was blitzed the whole time though.
Yeah, me too, dude. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
dude,
off.
I was drunk. I just kept getting drunk. I just kept drinking White Claw. I did drink a lot of White Claw.
After like literally in Houston, I'll give you a little context. Like I used to do cons for years. And then when it got about 2014 or 15, I was just burnt.
Yeah.
Because it was pre the era of indie stuff taking off online. So it was still a bunch of work to do with very little result. And you just did it to do it so that you could at least say you were working.
Yeah.
And there wasn't booze on the floor and all that shit back then, even at the biggest cons. I go down to Houston after being out of the con game for, 7, 8 years probably. Nearly 10 probably on a regular basis. And there's booze on every fucking street corner. There's booze on the con floor. There's a booth for hard liquor literally every 20 feet. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm in fucking heaven. Everyone's got vapes.
Yeah.
That's what it needs to be. I was fucked up the entire time from the minute we landed in Houston on Thursday to the minute I left because someone slipped me some edibles and I was just like, I'm not going to say no.
God.
Yeah. And like I got on the plane fucked out of my mind to come home. And then I caught COVID somehow. It was awful.
Dude, I can't do edibles anymore.
Cincinnati was me either. I really don't care for them. It's too much.
Just kill me.
Control it.
Like It used to be like so. I was in Netherlands, like Colorado, right? Like
Yeah.
I think just north of Denver, like close to Boulder, all that shit.
Yeah.
And I took like a 15 milligram fast acting like potent edible because they have all this shit
Yeah.
there. And I hiked up this mountain and I was blitzed and it was nice. And I got to the top and I was just snow everywhere. And I'm like, and it was sunny like 4 hours prior. Keep in mind, time started flying. And it took me 4 hours and I was at the top of this bitch and I was just on this snowy mountaintop and it was 70 degrees like 4 hours ago down where at the base of it and it was sunny. So it was really weird. I was like, how did this change? It's like I went through time and space. But of course I was tripping balls. And then I went back down and it was great. And I loved it. And the funny thing is when I started hiking, there was people everywhere. There was people hiking with me, walking around me. And of course I'm like, please don't speak to me. You know how it is. So I'm like hiking up this damn mountain. And I when I get to the top, when I'm blitzed out of my mind, there's no one there. I'm alone and I'm making my own footprints up a mountain. I'm just alone. And I'm like, oh my God, I should probably turn around. So I followed my footprints out. And then I started seeing people again after like an hour. And then now the funniest part of this whole story is there was these two fat girls. And dude, there's nothing wrong with being fat. I think people just get angry when they hear the word fat. There's nothing wrong with that shit. Like being fat's cool. I don't care. Like that, but it's funny because the story's funny because there was these two like jiggly girls, which isn't much better of a word. And they were walking in front of me when I first started, and I took the edible, and they were walking in front of me, and I talked to them a little bit, whatever. And they went to rest on this rock, like 5 minutes after the hike. They were resting on this rock, and I just keep going, right? And I'm going for hours, all right. And then I get blitzed, and I turn around and start coming back. Those bitches were still on that rock. They made it 5 minutes into this hike, Joe. 5 minutes, and then they sat on the rock for the rest of the time. Dude, I was hiking for hours. What the hell, girl? Jesus.
Colorado's a strange place, dude. Like I almost said I did some time in Colorado. That sounds like prison. I worked in Colorado in my late teens for a while because my older brother was a foreman for a company called Pioneer Log Homes.
Yeah.
And they built these like log mansions like in the middle of nowhere. That's kind of what they were known for, was building these humongous places like on the side of mountains, flying in logs, whatever they had to do.
Yeah.
So it was tedious, weird work. Like you had a chance of dying at work every day because nothing was like a good idea. It was all a bad idea. But that's what they specialized in. And I worked up there for my older brother for a while.
Yeah.
And that's how Colorado is. You can go from summertime weather up a mountain into snow.
Yeah.
The weird thing is the dudes are all out hiking. So the towns are filled with these beautiful, fit women everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere there are these beautiful women that will literally settle for any motherfucker that ain't going to run off and go hiking on them or camping, because all the dudes get together and they dip out to the mountains, and there's all these chicks back like just in town, like bored out of their minds because they're sick of hiking. They're fit as fuck anyways because it's just the genetics of the people that live the lifestyle that Colorado offered for a long time. So I mean, I don't know how things are these days. This was back in like 2002.
Yeah, it's
2001,
changed,
but
it's changed, man. Look, I've mentioned this before, but like the percentage of overweight, people, and it's men and women. When I say women, people think I'm only talking about women. Men, but it went from like 35% to 70% in like 10 years. So, and I said, I was talking to Nick about this. When I used to go to Vegas in 2010, 11, 12, every woman there was stunning. And now when I go, it's like, you have to look for like one that's it's wild. It's like, what the fuck happened? Anyways, that's for another day. But speaking of another day, Torgo the White says, of course we can support his race and drop supers and hit the like button. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing. If that's where all of it goes, is racing and of course my bills, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to do that, yeah, you can do that, and I appreciate it. You don't have to. Obviously, no one has to do that shit. But anybody that does, you guys are goated. I love you, and I can't damn thank you enough. Thank you, Torgo. Billy says, "Let's get the fight milk tonight." Thank you, Billy, for the 6th goal, boy. Or it might be 7th. Josh Boss is the Bitcoin car. Made me laugh. The Bitcoin car beats my ass every race, so keep that in mind. He won the championship last year, and look at this guy right here. Holy shiitake, boys. It's my man Casey with a $100 super chat, getting us a third of the way officially to Fight Milk and only 160 to Naked Snake. Thank you, Casey. I love you. And my boy Karis, I got to say something real quick before we continue our show. This man right here, Karis, flew in to Jacksonville, North Carolina. I picked him up. Well, PDH picked him up at the airport. He came and stayed up all night with me and all day, and we got my car ready for the race. He put all my tires on. He checked all my tire pressures. He was doing everything to the car. He literally single-handedly got us ready, and I appreciate that man right here. He's amazing.
That's
He
awesome, man.
He was not paid in any way, shape, or form other than through love. So thank you, Karis, so much. He says it was fun to be at the track. Y'all need to go to the next one. It's going to be so fun. Thank you, Karis, for the Orange Boy. I appreciate you. I hope you go to a lot of them because you're a big help. B.A. Turner says, Hail Joe, super pumped for death. And thanks for your support on Twitter. Hell, bro. Hell yeah, dude.
Hey, yeah, you're welcome, B.A. Yeah, I see your stuff. You're a cool dude.
Death, that's going to be wicked as hell. I'm so excited for that. Let's pull that bitch ass up. God, you're close as hell. You're close as hell. Speaking of close as hell, CECIL.
Hello.
What's up, my man? How you doing, dude?
How you guys doing?
Oh, pretty good, brother.
Talking about smashing boosters.
Count me in. I'm gonna get a task grab wrap for your car. I want a full week of a wrap, and I'll pay extra if you wreck your car. If it makes the news, it's got to be a pretty good. I want to go end over end kind of crash, if you don't mind. If I could request that.
If you don't mind, if you die, better. Yeah, dude. Oh my God, yeah, man. We should do it. We should get a goofy ass wrap, and it's just got Cecil's ass cheeks.
Dude, I'll do a cat because I have a second book coming out soon. I'll do a full fucking wrap, and I'll pay you. You can do a week or two, and I'll give you good money for it.
This is a good idea, dude. Like everyone could get their books rocking on your car. I'll
guarantee you Ethan Van Sciver will do a Cyber Frog one if he even knows that's a possibility.
For sure.
Well, I am in favor of this. That would be great. That'd be really cool to have different freaking schemes on the car.
Put me down. Don't box me out.
I'm not gonna, dude. Your money is good here, sir. That'll be $100,000. No, Matt Self says Fight Milk contribution. Maybe you could do a thing where you put all your supporters across the platforms on the 2024-inch decal for your car, or see if Rumble Locals will respond to you. Oh, that's something I've thought about it, Matt, for sure. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you for the third Orange Boy. I have been in talks with Rumble about that, so that's something that could happen in the future. Thank you. I appreciate it. What's up, Mila? How you doing, baby? You said you're driving back from Chicago. How did your event go, Cecil?
It was good. I had a sign of 6,000 books this week, and then I went to Comic-Con. I met up with Yellow Flash and his wife. I took some acid the second day on the floor.
Hell yeah!
Had a good time. The Friday night was supposed to be an early night. Like I was like, listen, I got to get this shit done. We fucking, Chicago closes at 2. We found the fucking seediest goddamn strip club in the world. We were out till fucking 6:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
Fucking insane. It was a really good night.
How many of the strippers had the cesarean scar?
No, I swear to God, man, the Midwest is where it's at for strippers. Everybody's just so fucking friendly and nice. I was shocked. Everybody was in shape, cute.
That's unexpected.
Yeah.
Dude,
one of the girls wanted to hang out tonight, but I had to go back to New York, man. I was like,
bro, dude, it's not.
I should have, George Costanza, when he did the math, he's like, when am I going to get hit on by a Ecuadorian maid? I had, and he's like, I did the math. I'm like, this was a 21-year-old goth chick. I was like, I really should have stayed an extra day. But
you should have.
I know. I have to do tomorrow. I have to do it.
Just so ashamed, man. Dude, I tell you what, so in Alabama, Cecil, and I hope you should, if you ever come and stay with me for a few days, we'll go.
I will.
Dude, strip clubs in Alabama are wild. If they have all their teeth that's like that's a bonus. That's like it's
You
actually
pay extra for that?
yeah, dude, and they all have the scar, bro. You ain't getting away with that. They all got the scar.
Cecil, they serve you biscuits and gravy while you're watching the strippers
Dude,
and sweet tea.
man.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's weird.
Can I have a 40-ounce sweet tea and biscuits and gravy? And I want somebody with no bullet holes, please.
Yeah.
No, dude, I was playing pool, right? I was at the strip club down the road, and I was playing some pool. I was drinking, and like it's funny because the lady that's like bringing our food over, you know, she's like walking up. She's like an older lady, like 50. She's like, "Here you go, sugar," and she's like pouring your drink and stuff. And you're just in the middle of the strip club, and then there's like a couple rows of seats in front of the pole, which is like 40 yards down there. I'm playing pool, right? And you know, they're just strippers coming up. And it's so sad because there was one girl, Cecil, just one, that was like smoking hot, right? There was the one girl, and I was like, "What is she doing here? Why are you here, girl?" And I'm assuming that if she opened her mouth, she'd be like, "Ha ha," so, you know, so but she was stunning, all right. And it's so sad that you had all these old ass dudes. They had the hundreds and their 20s in their hand, and they're flopping it around. And then her song ends, and she picks up all her money. She walks off stage, and then another girl comes up and waddles on stage, jiggling and shit. And then all the dudes just scatter like roaches, and she's up there alone dancing. I'm like, oh, this is sad. You gotta go throw her $1, man.
Yeah, I haven't been to a strip club in years, to be honest with you. And even though I used to practically live in them, but that was in the before times, before there was OnlyFans and all that stuff. So I always wondered, like, why are there any strippers anymore? And like, can any girl just set up a cam and do that shit from home?
Yeah.
And fucking. So I was like wondering how strip clubs would fare. I haven't been to a strip club in years. Actually, no, that's not true. I went last year with Anna and Flash, and that was a real horror show though in Nashville.
Yeah.
Nashville.
They were like really heavy set gals. This place was really. I'm telling you, man. It was deja vu in Chicago, and it had a great lineup, and everybody was like, and they weren't hustling you. Everybody was just chilling, like, you know, weren't bothering you for dances. Mostly just chilling, talking, having drinks, fucking, you know, you get to dance every once in a while because you're like, I got to get this girl money, whatever. But
yeah,
they were not like, it's not like New York or Vegas. They're not hustling you. Like, it's no hustle. Like,
yeah, dude. That's what I was gonna say to Cecil. Is I hate when you're like, you just sit down, sit in your chair, and you're jabbing with the music, you're drinking a little, and then the girl comes and sits on your lap, and she's immediately like, it's $100 for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and I'm like, what are you doing? Get away from me! Like, come.
No, it was very chill. Like we put together a motley crew, like literally a dude that was smoking a cigarette that it was cold out. So I was like, let me get a cigarette. And I don't smoke. So just got into a conversation with him. He runs a big statue company. It was on the floor of the convention. He does like X-Men statues.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it. Nice guy. Then this like black dude dressed as Moon Knight's like, you guys going out somewhere? None of us know each other. We all get into a fucking Uber. And go to the strip club and just have like a fucking legendary night. It was like pretty fun trip. But I wasted a lot of time. Like I should have been signing books when I was partying a lot of the time.
Dude, you ever notice like you'll take your friend? Okay, say you and all your friends or whatever. You're like, let's go to a strip club. We're kind of lit. We're gonna go to a strip club for fun. And you take your one friend that's like not been in a relationship or like hooked up with a girl in like 10 years.
Like he's let out of prison, just fucking.
Yeah, and they're like, just overweight and not confident and just not in, like, all they do is play WoW or something. And they go to the strip club with us begrudgingly, and those strippers, they like can smell him. They like,
oh yeah,
him like chum.
And then they're like, I think she likes me, and it's like, dude, she don't like.
Yeah.
But I kind of grew up in it. I grew up in strip clubs. My uncles ran strip clubs in Manhattan, so like I was there since I was like, I've dated strippers for years. I'm like, you want to not get laid from a stripper? Don't get a dance, because now you're a mark.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like once you start
a stripper mark. Oh man.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude.
you want to get laid from a stripper? You date one stripper, and you're in. It's like you're initiated into the club. Like you literally fuck the whole club just from word of mouth.
Just say no. Like I had a stripper jump on me once, and I was like, there was no
No.
one really there too, and I was like, no thanks. And then she walked away, and she kept coming back and offering me like a lower price, and I was like, no, I'm not interested at all. And then she's like, I think you're cute, so let's just go in the back and have sex. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then she touched my pee.
They don't do that. Like, I don't know. You were telling me in Vegas, but like back in the day when like the money was good, the clubs, like at least in the bigger cities, they didn't let that shit go on because they were making too much legit money to let these girls make, in New York and stuff, like back in early 200s and stuff, 2000.
Early 200s.
Back in the early 2000s, like they were making so much fucking money, like they would not let the girls do anything like that because they were making legit, like, $100,000 a night at the bar, like for real, like scores in those places were making like retarded money. Stockbrokers and fucking like they're not going to get shut down because some girl wanted to give a hand job. Like they'd fucking fire your ass immediately. So it was like when you're like, oh, this girl would want to fuck you in the back. I mean, that's kind of foreign to me. Like,
Well,
like,
the issue was there was like 3 people there, including me, guys. There was no one in that bitch. It was crazy. Like
some of these clubs I'm talking about, they had like 50, 60 girls working at the time.
There were like 4 girls and like 3 dudes.
It was like one better looking than the next, like absolute tens. Like they were making $15,000 to $2,000 a night easy. I was dating a lot of them, and they were just I never paid for shit. Like they were fucking bankrolled.
Speaking of paying for shit, when's the last time you went to a strip club, Joe?
Probably sometime in like the mid 2000s.
Was it a fun experience for you?
No, it was kind of like CECIL was saying about Nashville. It was like a terrible off the highway joint called the Neon Cowboy in Tennessee, and it was a total shithole. But once we're down in Tampa, I just I assume with some of our CECIL, our mutual friends that'll be there that will end up in some strip clubs. I've already warned my wife, like, honey, just be ready because you're probably going to get dragged to a strip club for the first time in like 15 years.
On Venus, is like there's famous strip clubs. Tampa is famous for the strip clubs. Like they're really good. Like what is it called? Ybor City. Ybor.
Yeah.
They got there's fucking just top strip clubs. So we're gonna be fucking partying over there, but I don't really, like I said, I normally don't like sit there and get dances all night. I'm not like let out a fucking prison guy. Although the funny thing is, as we're walking into the fucking strip club, Flash is like, yo, I owe you $150 from Cincinnati. You bought me a book and I never paid you back. So he literally hands me $150 as we're walking into a strip club, and I'm like, dude, this might as well just burst into flames in my hand right now. But don't.
CECIL's starting to lose service.
I was like, oh,
there he is.
I'm picking up. All right. I'll hop back on when I'm getting better service.
All right.
You hear
Love
me,
you, CECIL? Yes, I hear you.
Yeah. I'll do a little mountain part. All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you, dude. CECIL coming in just talking about strip clubs. This is great, man. Yeah, man.
Even in Cincinnati, I mean, it wasn't just comics. It was bottles of wine. It was all kinds of shit. Like Flash would literally just like be at the bar 1 minute, order a whole bottle of wine, like an expensive ass bottle, and then just be like, just disappear back to his room and pass out. So like, we all kind of covered each other down there at various moments. It was like, all right, who's picking this thing up for whoever? And one of us would always volunteer it. So it was, we all kind of like make up for each other's drunken mistakes while we're together.
It's weird because if you go to a strip club in Vegas versus a strip club in like Alabama or a strip club in Florida, the rules are so much different depending on where you're at. So if you go to Vegas, like, okay, so if you play Grand Theft Auto 5, because a lot of people that like that's where their like experience comes from. And if you play Grand Theft Auto, if you touch a stripper, you'll get like you'll get your ass kicked, right? They'll throw you out. But dude, when you go to Vegas, they grab your hands and put it in like down their pants and shit. They're like all over you, especially if it's dead and they're trying to make their money. And so the last time I went to one in Alabama, like a girl walked up to me and she was like, "Can you pop my back?" And I was like, "Yeah," because I popped some other girl's back that was with me. And I was like, "Yeah." And then another stripper was like, "Can you pop my back?" And they were all just like coming up and want me to pop their back for them. And they were all just huddled around. And we were just talking about nothing, except they were in like lingerie. That was pretty much the difference. And it was really chill, you know. But like again, the whole point, like in Alabama, there isn't girls trying to like walk up to you and like talk to you and try to get money from you. There's just girls on the stage, and that is it. There is no like girls roaming the club. In Vegas, there's girls roaming the club trying to get you to like do stuff with them obviously for money, like a lap dance, some bullshit. So dude, it's really, really weird. Shanny says, "Here to remind Camelot to show the art and what Joe Ball is all about. Ducks for the art. Duck. Duck." I appreciate you, Shanny. That is the fourth Orange Boy, by the way. Yes, I meant to show that, and then Cecil joined. Let's pull up death. Make sure you have the link ready, Shanny, for not pulled up. This is death right here. This is Joe Ball's comic, his graphic novel he's working on. He is 17,000 away from 100,000 at 1,000 backers. Jesus, you got a lot of backers, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's adding up.
Dude, it's beautiful too. Like this is. Like I said, I feel like your art by far is it's just really detailed and like gritty and brutal looking. I love it. So like, what's basically the story around death?
It's kind of like a war book, really. It's basically about three different factions kind of colliding at one point in time, and it's a mix of like I'd say kind of like Transformers, Berserk, and like Bible lore, kind of all mixed together. So you've got like the testosterone leveled action of Berserk mixed with it gets to a point where it's a lot more mech, even though you're seeing a lot of monsters and creatures. Like it's kind of split down the middle. It's taking you somewhere so that in book 2 you get used to what the world's really going to be.
Yeah,
but it's a war story. It's a bunch of people that are all. They want the same area and the same plot of land, and it revolves around a family that are kind of caught in the middle of it. That are the father's in forest service, so that's where you get the war experience through, and he's just doing what's best for his wife and kid, and to progress into the future. But he looks like a big crazy monster, so it's a little different than what you would think. But I hope everyone will like it. It's a wild story. I really love like things that make a person kind of visually and like sounds that make people uncomfortable, even if it's not necessarily violent or gory.
yeah.
Like there's just imagery that can make people uneasy. So you get a lot of the Bible and the Christian symbology in the mix of it, and some other stuff as well. But it's just a sci-fi fantasy. It's a crazy sci-fi war story. And if you're into that kind of stuff, if you like a lot of different manga and anime from over the years, Evangelion or Berserk, it'll kind of be up that alley a little bit.
Yeah.
If you like big mech, it's got a lot of that stuff too. So they're kind of like organic mech. I wanted to have characters where like if the mech gets his arm blown off or something, like he bleeds.
Right.
If they get their gut shot, they actually have organs and shit that come out. So they're not 100% robots. And it's just like a cool visual thing that I wanted to be able to do, because it's not like I just thought this up. There's plenty of anime and stuff that have done that for years, but I wanted to be able to kind of make it my own thing with this book. So but check it out. I think everyone will like it a lot. I do all the art, the color, the writing. I just posted some updates, and we're basically in the editing process. So I did not really take into account the editing time on 300 pages, because even if you break it up, it's like it's just a lot of content where you know how it is when you read, your brain puts words in place that aren't there.
Yeah.
Or it takes things away. You start to read how you hear, or how your imagination carries you away. So I can reread, an editor can reread, multiple people can reread the same page 100 times and still miss the tiniest like grammar or
Dude,
spelling error.
that shit
So
happens to me all the time.
yeah, so I'm fighting to go through it. It's like even when I text or like if I send you messages, our DMs, like I basically talk in like caveman talk.
Yeah,
I had
same.
forgotten how to even write like
Same.
a normal human being would speak. So it's something I've had to really focus on and be careful of because I got to make sure the characters read right and their personalities come through with their words
Dude,
because
300 pages? Jesus.
well, 300 plus, you'll get some gallery images. I might even do a few little like behind the scenes pages. It just depends on where the printer prefers a cutoff point because there's like numbers they like to hit. So if you hit that with them, it just makes everyone's life easier. So it'll 300 page of guaranteed story, and then a little extra content to go along. So I've got like some splash images and stuff I just did for fun that I figured I might as well throw in there. So
Well, hell yeah, dude. Make sure you guys go check it out. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful, beautiful looking graphic novel. And I've been waiting for it for I feel like it's been a year maybe. I feel like I've been
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 it's
talking
been
about
going for a while. I'm a little late, honestly. I was trying
Oh.
to have it out by December, and it's coloring and sound effects and everything drug out a little longer than I would like.
Nah.
And like I said, I didn't even I've been drawing comics and doing comics for 20 years. So I was so used to just I draw, I hand in my work, I get paid, and I move on. Like you
Yeah.
quickly forget what you just did after a while because it's gig after gig after gig. And I didn't even take into account like the editing time, the rereading, the making sure this is right and your eyes flow the proper direction. Like there's things I know, but making sure it's done correctly because like I don't want this thing to feel half-assed in any regard. So I'm doing the best I can to get it all bashed out here, but we're not too far away. It's we're in striking range of getting those proof copies.
Yeah.
So I'm super pumped to get some proof copies. They look good, then it's boom, it's the big orders and I can start shipping.
Yeah, dude, I think it's beautiful. I'm excited for it.
Thank you.
And I think
I appreciate it, man.
it'll do really well. And so you're going to do a second one, obviously, yeah?
Yeah, once I have this one fulfilled, I'll start plotting and planning for the second and debating on how I want to handle it. Because this one, I was like halfway ahead before I launched it. And
Okay.
even then, it was an enormous amount of work to draw the way I do traditionally and then color and write and letter, 300 pages. Like it's felt like an eternal
Jeez.
process. But
Yeah.
luckily, I like really enjoy what I'm doing. So even though it's work and it sucks, it doesn't suck because it's work I like doing, if that
Right.
makes sense. It's fulfilling.
Right.
So I just
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to get it in people's hands. I hope they like it as much as I like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's really what it is. It's a love letter to everything that Joe Balt loves. So I'm really hoping people see what I was doing and appreciate it the way I do.
Hell yeah. Well, speaking of appreciating it the way you do, Disco Cobra with another $100 super chat. That's 3 of those tonight already. Only been in one strip club in my life one time. It was a shithole in Pennsylvania. One of the only ones we have in this area. I live out in the country. Only thing I remember was them playing a Limp Bizkit song, My Way. Strippers were okay at best. Thank you, Disco Cobra. I appreciate you. You're goated as hell, and we are officially halfway to Fight Milk right there. Thank you so much. Dude, insane. Yeah. Right here, Brent says, if you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life. Truer words have never been spoken. Dude, well,
Yeah.
unless it's YouTube. Because like I was like, man, this is great. I love doing this. And then it like became my full-time gig. And I was like, oh, I'm stressed out all the time.
Now I have to do this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the whole point. So yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to it. So you said you've been doing comics for 20 years. Like what did you start? Where did you start and what have you worked on?
Well, like right out the gate, like out of high school, I started putting in submissions, which is like everybody you could possibly think of.
Yeah.
In terms of comic book publishing from big to small. But ultimately, I got rejected over and over, and I was young. I wasn't good enough yet, but I was still trying. And I did a lot of graphic design stuff in the meantime. So like I've done like tons of t-shirts and ads and things of that nature in between. And then I gradually started, probably around like 2005, picking up like indie gigs here and there for different small companies and small publishers. And I mean, my first page rate seriously was like $5 a page, which is literally
Jesus.
free.
Yeah.
And that was in 2005, and that's only because I'd handed off like a pre-made portfolio to some guys at a convention, because I would just hand them out to everybody that I came across. And these guys went through the trouble to send me like a really nice letter asking me to do
Yeah.
work, but saying this is all we got because we're small time. And I was just so happy somebody approached me. I was like, sure, I'll do it. I don't care. And from there, yeah, just more and more gigs, and the page rates went up as time went on, and more people saw the value in my improving work. And it eventually got to a point where I was getting some kind of like, I'd say mainstream for like the bigger, not DC or Marvel companies, but I started to run into issues literally in like 2013, 14. Like that's right. Like a lot of people don't realize it, but that's when the woke stuff started to like
Yep.
seep its way in baby
Yep.
amounts, but you could see what was coming if you were paying attention. And I owned two comic book shops at that time as well. So I was already seeing it, because I would look on Twitter and different places and be like, how are we going to promote comics and toys and collectibles through social media at that point? So I started looking into that stuff, but the problem I was having was all the creators I would start following and checking out so that I could keep up on what was happening on a lot of stuff all in one place, was I was realizing they were just being shitty liberals with everybody that commented, even if it was like nice comments or normal
Yeah.
normie shit. And I was just like, what's wrong with these guys? How am I supposed to keep selling these books? Some of the shit I order just to like out of loyalty to the industry. It's not like it sells, it goes in the back bin. But I'm taking the hit so that I have their stuff and on hand. And their creators are on here shit talking normies for being like, saying something simple like it's snowing here on some like climate change comment,
Yeah.
instead of the creator just rolling with the punches. They get shitty with regular people off of jokes. So it got a little ridiculous, and I could see it happening then. And I was even getting help from some pretty big dudes in the industry. And just because of my Facebook feed having real basic stuff on it about like liking a Trump uh uh meme, or like I had discussions with like relatives about like gay marriage when that was all the rage, when Obama was in. And it was nothing like crazy. It was real normie level shit. And just guys would see that and instantly like drop me. And then I'd find out later that like the guy that ran this publisher was like a Portland queer liberal that
Yeah.
he
Like,
couldn't stand someone saying, I think that toy guns are fine in cosplay. Like it'd be stuff that basic. I'd
it
just be like,
sounds,
who cares if they're selling toy guns at a booth at a cosplay? Like, are you that
yeah.
sensitive to Nerf guns? Give me
Well,
a break.
social media, the advent of social media created these outrageous echo chambers. So like, they've been around for a while. Reddit has them, Kiwi Farms has them. There's all these
Yeah.
sites that have different like echo chambers where people have confirmation bias, where they get angry and more radicalized for whatever cause they think they're fighting for. And for some odd reason, it became socially acceptable to be a fucking maniac. And Twitter, like, and you remember, dude, like from like 2010 to 2017, if you said anything that could have been even misconstrued, kind of, you got fired or like swatted or shit from the tolerant crowd. Keep in mind, those are the people that are attacking for some odd reason, the tolerant people.
Yeah.
So, and then they got, and it eventually they pretty much got rid of all their talent. So if you look at comics nowadays, it is trash. You remember that freaking still from that one page of Captain Marvel, and she looks like the Crimson Chin. Like, you ever seen that shit?
Yeah,
God.
it's bad, dude. It's what it really comes down to is it's like a mix of things. It's an industry being ran by people that don't care about it. Like they
Right,
just want
yeah.
to insert their will, and it's a mix of like being cheap. So, sometimes people would be like, well, they pick that artist because of because they draw dude-looking women. It's like, not exactly. It's probably because that artist will work for $25 a page
Yeah.
for Marvel, which is like it's somewhere below a poor level of pay for that company.
Right.
Like that's a destitute, I'll suck a dick for money level of pay of money. Like it's absolutely unacceptable. So they don't. A lot of people don't realize like they're just picking up these losers off of Tumblr that will work
Yeah.
for anything, so
They
that
need
they can
yes
say they
men.
got a credit with Marvel.
They need their yes men. And you'll
Yeah.
notice it's happening in movies and shows too. Man, you'll hear
Yeah.
about a new movie or a new show that's a reimagining of an old classic. And you look at the writers, the team of writers, and it's like 2 women or 3 Asian women or some shit, which is fine. Asian women are cool.
Yeah.
But you'll look at their credits and they wrote like one episode of like a show in 2010 or 2020. And they're just like doing a full freaking movie, a feature-length film. You're like, what the fuck? Where did you come from? And then, of course, it's like the most ridiculous. The director releases a statement saying, well, we wanted it to be, for modern audiences. And a lot of the stuff back then just doesn't fly today. And we needed more diverse people that are somehow living in Norway for some fucking reason. Like, it's like when you go to, like, you watch Rings of Power, they go to like snowy areas or something. And it's like, somehow there's like a Mexican there and like a black dude and an Asian woman. Hey, how the fuck, for one, how were you born here without like all of you looking kind of similar? Because there's 80 asses and you're all a different color, yet you are all born here. Who birthed y'all asses? It's all so silly. And that's how these people write. That's how they draw. That's how they write, because they've never lived anything else. They are literally writing from their brain, because most of these writers, if you look at where they come from, their parents are like a studio executive and they came out of college with some shitty degree and now they're a director for some studio and they've never had to struggle. So they're like, oh, well, I read stuff on Twitter, so this is how I'm going to write my movies or TV shows or my comics. Did you remember?
Well, it's a shame too, because the catch is, you'll find this, that some of them will do something really well at one point, and then they will get sucked into the woke shit and you'll see their work decline. And it's sad because it's throttling people that are possibly really, really creative and really good at what they do. And they're being throttled by their peers into doing silly, goofy things that are out of touch with reality and out of touch with normality and with most people. And they don't want to accept that their Los Angeles bubble is not really representative outside of that, but they're stuck in that world. So, like, I feel a tiny bit of sympathy, but at the same time I don't, because it's proven that the indie world on every level is booming. People are open to indie film, indie music, any independent entertainment. The internet has given us all a more than fair shot to compete with the biggest people on planet Earth. It's hard, it's work, it's going to eat up a ton of your life, but we're all in an equal playing ground right now, and people need to take advantage of it if they have creative endeavors, because it probably won't be that way forever. And if I'm old enough now, I've seen these phases come and go. There was an indie boom in the 90s. It eventually got corporatized and grabbed up. There were indie booms in the 80s, and it eventually got grabbed up. Like, you have to get in on it when it's happening, so that you can survive when it's gone.
And you can almost feel the pendulum swinging back now.
Yeah,
because even people that, like, even celebrities are like, have you noticed, like, every day celebrities are coming out and being like, all right, I'm tired of this bullshit. And it's celebrities that are like acting in everything right now. And they're like, you know what? This woke shit is super gay, and I'm tired of this bullshit. So like everyone's the pendulum swinging back. And once it does, and corporate America sees how profitable it is, they're going to go hard as shit in that direction.
They will. Budweiser's going to hate trans people by 2024. They're going to have KKK guys on their cans. Yeah. It's going to be ridiculous. They're going to go so polar opposite. People are going to be like, whoa, chill out.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious because people on Twitter, like brain dead people on Twitter, think that these companies, these corporate companies that are only looking at, their operating profit, these companies actually care about movement. So they'll like support trans people, or they'll support LGBTQ or whatever, or, Black History Month. They'll support all these things. And as soon as that shit becomes unprofitable, they'll drop it so damn hard, it'll be like it never existed in the first place. And for some reason, people think corporate companies, which have a board of directors like built up of a dozen people, they like those people morally care about random ass people in random disenfranchised communities. It's like, no, they just care about making a commercial. There's a reason why when you turn on a Lexus commercial, and keep in mind, I don't have cable. So the only time I ever see commercials is at the gym.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching racing or something at the gym, and a commercial will come on, and it'll be like, you know, a gruff voice, and it's like history has stains on it, and it shows like black people in chains and shit, and it's like we're here to change that, and it's like shows people like laughing and smiling and like all this shit, and you're like, what is this commercial? And then it's like Axe body spray, and it's like what like what? And like it's that comic strip where it's like, so how is this gonna allow us to sell more body spray? And the guy's like, what do you mean? What body spray? The fuck you talking about? Like it's like the Gillette thing. You remember the Gillette commercial where like the white dude is gonna go hit Mac on the girl, he's gonna hit on her, and like the black dude's like, no, bro, leave her alone. Leave her alone.
The principled black man that's in everything, or the genius black guy that's like, I'm a computer tech, that's in every TV show or movie. Yeah, it's fine. Like I get it. We all know that we don't care that much. Yeah. It's just that the premises when it gets to a commercial level, to a product level, are so silly that like even the minority that's watching it's rolling their eyes. You know what I mean? It's not like it's exclusive to some white people rolling their eyes. It's everybody that's borderline normal in this country, which is probably at least 60%. I think it's even on the liberal side. There's pockets of them that are like, dude, how do I deal with the fact that like I'm with the party of groomers? Like we've got to find a way to separate ourselves without being called Nazis.
Get the hell out of that one for damn sure. Like, and they're trying to turn it around. So that's
real quick. Lewis or Louis, whichever it is, I'm not sure. But we'll just say Lewis. Yeah, I'll do whatever with Nerdrotic. I met him down in Houston. He's a real nice guy.
A great dude. Yeah.
He boothed right beside me actually, so we got a chance to chit chat with him and his wife a little bit. Yeah, they're real pleasant people. Actually, I know Ryan Kennel and Jeremy and shit, and we chat. Like that's the thing. Like I actually know a lot of people. It's just I don't call in favors till it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these are busy ass dudes. All of us are. And Cam, you just talked about that earlier with all the stuff you have going on. We're all incredibly busy. So, and I'm trying to do a 300-page book to my own fucking detriment. So, like we're all just trying to be good with each other. These guys, we all know we can hit up each other for whatever. Dude. Whenever
it's wild because like I said, I had Wicked Virtue on the CAMELCAST like 2 CAMELCASTs ago, and you know she's a smaller creator, and she's like, you should come on my show this week, and I'm like, yeah, dude, let's do that. And then I have to objectively think what I'm doing this week, and I'm like, I don't think I can do that, like, and I want to, like, and I'll go on anybody's show, man. I think it's great, you know, within reason, but dude, sometimes it's just impossible. Like, you know, Wednesday I have a show Wednesday, Tuesday I'm working on my car because I got to get some stuff ironed out. Wednesday, I got a show. Thursday morning at 5 a.m., I'm flying to San Antonio. I'm doing the range day all day, and then me and Nerdrotic are going to get some lunch or some dinner at the end of the day. Then I'm flying back Friday morning, and then I have, you know, a show Saturday, and then I do Nick's show Friday. It's brutal, man. So, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do any of this. So real quick, Shani says, for my favorite Joe Ball duck.
Thank you, Shani.
Look at all the ducks. Look at all them damn ducks. And also, I see Casey. It says, how do you guys feel about the canceled new Warriors comic with the hero safe space and stuff?
I think it's pretty. I don't even think we need to explain how we really feel, but like, yeah, it's so silly and so dopey and a product of its time. And like, it's going to be memory hold at some point. Like that's the catch. They think they're doing stuff that's going to be canon. What's going to happen is someday when normies finally get control of the entertainment again, or at least cooler heads prevail, this stuff will get memory hold so bad that future generations will never know it even happened because it's that level of embarrassment.
That's what's happening right now. It is happening literally right now. Like, dude, I'll have people in my chat that get angry at me about this, and I don't care. Look, dude, it's fine. You guys can have whatever you're going on. My boy's just slamming
Oh,
boxing.
God.
So but no, you'll talk about like how there was a push for OSHA to mandate vaccines, and there was a push in Los Angeles. You would get picked up if you were out after curfew, and this happened in a lot of places in the U.S. Was it mild? A little bit. It was mild compared to a lot of countries, but it still happened. You would be fired. So a lot of people you weren't forced to do anything. No, you'd be fired for most of your jobs. I had friends that quit their government jobs in Alabama because they were going to be forced to do, and they're like, no, fuck that, I'm out. And they got rehired, by the way, because of this. But in other countries, they had, and I know that people like to call them other things, but there were concentration camps. China has them currently. Australia had them when you re-entered the country. I think Japan actually had some as well. And the restrictions were like really harsh in some places in Canada. And people are trying to say none of that shit happened. And it's so frustrating. And I'm like, look, dude, it did. Like, and look, I don't care. I'm not mad at anybody, but it's like the whole amnesty thing. Why would you be asking for amnesty if nothing happened? Like, what are you talking about?
The left's memories are incredibly short. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure the right has its short memories on some things.
They do, yeah,
too,
sure.
But it's not nearly to the scale of the left. You know what I mean? Like, I remember about 3 to 5 days after it was basically made official that Biden was going to get inaugurated and we were going to just lay it to rest and that's what was going to happen.
Yeah.
There were literally leftist pundits on like CNN and other major networks. I'm talking the big dogs, not some like random, not like Young Turks or something like that.
Yeah.
Saying we needed to send Trump supporters to re-education camps.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there being like, they can't be jumping the gun this quick. Like, I know they're insane and I know they're fucking Looney Tunes and something's going to have to happen eventually. But
yeah, dude, I had
like, how do you jump to that within 3 days, 3 to 5 days? You're already like, yeah, we need to fucking throw these people in camps. And it's like, yeah, we haven't forgot COVID, guys. We didn't forget what you tried to force people to do. And I blame Trump a little bit for pushing the vaccine shit and not being a little more cautious with it. Because in all fairness, we all know what COVID turned into. It turned into something we were all going to get. It was going to happen. And unless you had some extreme issues with your body, yeah, you're going to recover and you're going to be fine. But it's a little brutal. It could linger. I mean, it's lingered in me. I caught it bad probably 3 different times. And I'm still bouncing back from it to some degree, but I also smoke. I do a lot of stupid things, so I can't blame it all on COVID. It could be all of my terrible life choices.
Yeah.
Considering I'm 40, I'm not doing too bad, motherfuckers. Like,
yeah, you did great.
Fuck you. I'll smoke all I want.
It reminds me of it's another thing that was memory hold. And look, I don't have any opinion on this next subject matter, but I will mention it. I have a friend, one of my close friends, that went to prison because they went to the January 6th thing at the Capitol. They were just there. And there was, they told me, they were like, yeah, we were just at the door and then the police let us in and they escorted us around and shit. And it was cool. And we were just like, and they were literally like, it was like a tour and they were like showing us paintings and they were showing us stuff and it was cool. And then they went to federal prison for 2 months. And I'm like,
and in that process, they think we don't remember the 9.5, 10 months of riots all across this country, of places being looted, cities burning, people blocking fire trucks from apartment buildings full of
memory hold
normies. Yeah, like, sorry, I'm not going to forget that shit. 100% not going to forget that shit. And when push comes to shove, I'm going to refocus on it more than ever. More than ever. I've got a wife. I've got little girls. I've got daughters. There is a point in every great country's history when they are getting pushed into a corner and they have to come out like rabid dogs. And luckily we haven't quite got to that point yet, because nobody wants that. I truly believe that. Like, nobody wants the most extreme options, even if they think they do or they pretend they do online or they're trying to be edgy. It's really not it's not for normies. I hate to
Yeah.
say that, and that's why we saw
Yeah.
COVID go so smooth with some of the chicanery, because it's really tough for normal people to push back, and I get that. And some
Yeah.
people will say like, well, 10% of the population made the United States independent. It's like, yeah, but you gotta take circumstances into account and technology and all the differences of an ocean
Yeah.
that took like 3 months to cross between you and the enemy. It's a different world now. So it's, we're never going to see things quite the same. Things are going to basically be about who can we sink the most money into to have the influence that we need, because you're not going to see giant, like even in Ukraine, you don't see giant wars. It's all
Yeah.
very little things happening. I don't think you see a lot of espionage and sabotage happening right now, like even in Russia. Like one of their top generals was in a cafe just having breakfast the other day, and the ship blew up.
Yep.
So you're seeing that over here with the derailments, with the factories exploding. That's happening in a lot of places, and it's not just here in the States. So I won't get too much deeper into it because it's not fun to talk about or that entertaining. To be honest, we hear enough depressing shit. But
Yeah.
basically, my point is, we're seeing how war is fought in 2023. And even the days of us going and fighting in deserts are kind of long and dead. That went on for 20 years. It's
Yep.
done now. Where you're not going to see that again. And it's going to be a lot more underhanded, sneaky, slimy, old school levels
Yeah.
of shit. And we'll see how it plays out, dude. There's a lot of treaties and contracts that are coming up and they're ending between nations and countries, and you're seeing new ones made. You saw Putin and China get together and sign a
Yep.
99-year contract for space exploration. And there's patents all over the place for all the space technology, and people don't know that. They say, why don't we go back to the moon? Why don't we do this and that? It's like, because people own that shit. We probably have.
Yep.
Probably. It's just, it's done under a corporate banner, and you're never going to know about it till they feel like telling you.
Yep. That makes
So
dude,
it's,
it makes
yeah.
too much sense. But by the way, speaking of making too much damn sense, Casey dropped a $100 super chat.
Damn.
We are 370 from Fight Milk after that, Casey. Casey's the top supporter now of the night. I love you, Casey. And we are 150 likes away from the goal. Thank you, Casey, so much. Make sure you guys like this goofy stream. And thank you, Fire PA and
Yes.
the locals. I love you, Fire PA. Said the National Hockey League, which went full woke with these Pride nights, where teams would wear rainbow practice jerseys during warm-ups, is looking into dropping it because of the backlash from fans. Shocking. Fire PA says, my mistake is your gain. Thank you so much, Fire PA. Yeah, dude. I want to add something real quick. Again, thanks, Casey. Brent Sanders, and this is something I've thought about a lot. He says, I think if Trump would have won in 2020, MAGA supporters would have been the vaccine Nazi brigade, and Dems would have been the people that resisted. That's how tribal people are. Yes, because it was so politicized. Now, granted, people on the right are there for smaller government, not larger government, and so I don't think they would support people being like forced and like OSHA taking over and people going to camps and shit. I don't think that would have happened. But you are right. People on the right would have been that way. Now, granted, something you have to look into is the largest demographic of people that were anti-vaccine were Black Americans, because Black Americans don't trust the government with medicine.
Well, you would think that, but keep in mind, the minute Trump started doing basically the Trump tour and was hitting stadiums again, the only time that man gets booed by his own people is when he brings up vaccines.
Yeah.
And it's been that way from day one that he went back out on the road.
Yep.
And I'll give the right credit for that. Like, we may support a guy to some degree, but when they do something we don't like, we throw a fit. And that's partially the difference between us not succeeding and the left succeeding.
You're
Now, I'm
right.
not saying just jump on bandwagons and support no matter how terrible something is.
Yeah.
But the left succeeds because they support no matter how fucked up, disgusting, and absolutely terrible an idea is. They go, we're all on the same team and fuck it, we're going to stick together. And the right says, no, if we don't agree with something, we're not going to roll with it. And
Exactly. Yeah.
it's principled, and I appreciate it, and I'm the same way. But I also know that that's part of why we have a tough time, is because we're way more willing to challenge each other's ideas. It's why you see libertarians and conservatives get in arguments so much, where if that was the left, like an equivalent, they would just go, fuck it, let's just agree.
Yeah.
Who gives a
Exactly.
shit? And yeah.
Rob says, "What the fuck's a normie?" So a normie. So I'll give you. I'll preface it with this. A study was done at some point and has been redone over and over. Something like 50 or 60% of people aren't capable of seeing outside their perspective, which leads them into a life of kind of like monotony, normal human life, 9 to 5, go home.
Normal people, yeah.
It's and they're not passionate about anything. They don't have any interest, and they're not capable of extending their mind to anything like that. And that's what a normie is. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just a part of human. It's a part of humans.
It's preferred, actually. It's just 2023 is not conducive with normie lifestyle.
Yeah.
Normie lifestyle is you get married, you have kids, you raise those kids, you eventually pay for normal schooling so that those kids can have decent jobs. You try to leave them a little something extra, and they don't have to struggle for every inch of their life in order to get good at something they want to do.
Yeah.
And then they birth children and they repeat the process, and you raise generations of kids with some level of generational wealth, even if it takes time to build.
Right.
That's normally life, and you do that through marriage and stability and the raising of children, and not getting focused on horse shit in the moment that's gonna pass eventually, but it takes getting old enough to realize that.
Yeah, exactly.
I've already seen a bunch of weird shit. I've already seen 25 years of warfare. That starting from the Gulf War, I was a little kid when that kicked off. You know, I was probably like 10 years old in the early 90s. I've seen nothing but people fighting and dying, and my father was a Vietnam vet. He was a Marine, so that's all he saw. Literally, this country is nothing but warfare, and it's not a bad thing. It's just part of the deal. But it's normies have to combat paying too much attention to things that are going to come and go and happen whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
and that's they have the ability to do that, to just go to work and come home and focus on the immediate.
Have you ever heard that phrase, most people just want to be left alone? That's those people. And the reason I said the pendulum is swinging is because those people are now like, all right, fuck this, I'm tired of this, because now they're going to school and their first grade teacher is dressing up as like a drag queen and like spreading their ass cheeks in front of them, and this is happening in Mississippi. It's not happening in only LA. It's happening people are trying to
happening in Texas, South Carolina,
like,
fucking some of this shit went down in Ohio, and you know how disturbed that made me? Ohio is almost completely red except for Cuyahoga, which is basically Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, which is a major city, so you get it. But almost the entire state's red as red can be. Trump went in a landslide here every time. Even Dems like him around here. That's how red we are.
Yeah, that's my dad was a Democrat my entire life, which made me, I was indoctrinated. I voted for Obama, and all that. Like now I got away from politics. I don't really care. I don't really belong to any one party, even though I do shit on the left a lot because it's the easiest party to shit on, and I shit on the right a lot too as well. But people, if you ever shit on the left, they just immediately think you're MAGA, super MAGA god, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
no, I don't like really either of them. I'm more a libertarian than anything. But that being said, my dad was like a Democrat dude, and then like when the bullshit started happening, my dad was like, you know what? I kind of prefer Trump, I think. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, dude, I'm like everybody that I was, I followed and agree with, and all these upcoming guys, they're saying some outrageous shit. And I'm like, I guess my dad was like, they moved way past where I was. And now I guess I'm just a conservative. I don't know. Like
Trump's policies were no different than a Democrat policy 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like he was normie for what he was, and I'm going to rephrase that because that's stupid. It's not most people, because we know most people don't think this way.
Yeah.
The media tried to put that in people's heads, and the people that control entertainment and things of that nature, like people that think they have influence, like they've always had influence, and they're getting the wake-up call the last 6 years or so that's just not the case.
Yeah.
And it's been an uphill battle for sure, but like you said, people are more emboldened than ever. You see more actors and more people speaking out, and I'll say this: I don't think it's 100% because the risk is lower. I think it's because enough prominent people said something and accepted the risk, that it made it a tiny bit safer for the rest of us to it was the kids. Me and you both know that. It was the kids. We were trying to put up with people that said they just wanted to be married, being married, and a lot of us said, "Okay, but this has got the possibility of being a slippery slope."
Yep.
And sure enough, that's where it went. And the problem is now, you know what's the sad part is, dude? It took some kids getting shot up in Tennessee. That's
Yep.
what it took. And it's unfortunate, but that's sometimes it takes a lot of dark to get to the light. And
Yep.
that woke up a ton of people, and I mean a ton. I scroll Twitter now, and I see people with balls of steel because of that event, because of that singular event, and
have you
it
seen what people are
rejuvenates me
saying?
to some degree.
People are saying now. Let me get these super chats, and then I'll hit that.
Yeah,
thought.
yeah. I'm sorry. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, dude, you're good. You're good. Disco says that is the weird part about it. Even if Trump supported it, I question lockdowns and vaccines from the start. 100%, I agree. I
Mhm.
honestly did not want to support any of it. Then more info came out, and it didn't matter anyways. Yeah. So I was never a Trump supporter, and I completely agree. I'm kind of retarded. Thank you, Casey, so much. Casey's third red boy, and that, my friends, is a red ass night. Get the hell on it, dog on it. I appreciate you. I love you, Casey. You're goated as hell. Swift kiss to your penis. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow.
You gotta do the whiplash.
Yeah, dude.
Gotta
Casey,
do the raining blood whiplash.
That's 260 from 5. Damn, son, already. Listen, Joe, I'm kind of retarded. One of the best things. Yeah, but
Likewise.
you were saying about people on Twitter. Have you seen? So look, I have no like. I gotta preface this with something because people can't. They hear one thing and it goes out. They register it as a different thing. I have absolutely no problem with anybody in the LGBTQ community within reason or trans people. I don't give a fuck. As long as you're 18 or older, you're an adult. Do whatever the hell you want. When you start bringing children into it, things start to get a little sticky. And now the people are unironically saying, actual journalists and people like that to that nature are saying the reason that those kids died in Tennessee, the reason they were killed was because Tennessee is making it illegal to exist as a trans person, and they're fighting back. I'm like, they're fighting back with killing children, and that's the justification. If you're a journalist or you're a news anchor or you're a president or you're a damn politician in any way, shape, or form, and the first thing you say is not that person was evil and they should burn in hell for all eternity. If that's not the first and only thing that you ever say about this situation, then you should be cast into the damn pits of inferno. There, the fact that there are people coming out and justifying what that person did to try to make a political statement, they need to be lined up in Minecraft immediately. That's some bullshit. I hate that shit. How dare you? How dare you use kids being killed to be like, well, it's because you went after trans people. Please vote for me in the next election, by the way. Fuck y'all. Eat my dick ass.
Well, you know, like let's take a touch of the morality out of it for just a minute.
Yeah.
And say like it's just super out of touch.
Yeah.
It's out of touch on a level I cannot even put into words. And if you take the morality into account, it's so disgusting and it's so low level. And they can try to blame guns all day, but the catch is like I carry a gun everywhere I go. I don't even like I can't even keep it on camera now. I used to always have it around me, but like people would be worried about it on live streams because I get it. YouTube will smack you down, so I don't even like keep it in the general vicinity now because it would get caught on camera. But like it's there's a certain point where like mental problems are not being addressed, and we all get that. And we've gotten it from since the 90s when everyone thought like Prozac was the answer, or that we went through these different phases of what was like a hip or cool way to deal with the problem.
Yep.
But what it comes down to is like it's tough because you see suspicious things on all avenues of it where it's like, is it crazy people? Is it feds? Is it this? Is it that? The problem is it becomes a mix of multiple things. There's no surprise that like every mass shooter has turned out to be have a therapy that is a Navy base therapist
Yep.
or a Air Force base therapist. And these, like, you find out all these weird little tidbits where you go, I can't tell anymore. I don't 100% know who to point the finger at because there's literally like 6 or 8 people I should be pointing the finger at.
Yeah.
And it's gotten so confused and so goofy that it's really thrown Americans for the loop, and it's part of the divide. But I hate to say that and sound cliche because like saying they're trying to divide us sounds stupid and cringe.
Yeah.
It's obnoxious and old at this point. It's borderline boomer. It's not about dividing us. They're well past that. They did that fucking 6 years ago, people. Come on.
Yeah. That's been over.
It's it's more of a thing of the left is not afraid to use power and assert will, and the right is.
Yep.
And until the right gets over that and says we don't care about optics and we're going to assert force and will, nothing's going to change. And we have to do that at a lawful level because that's the people we are. They don't, but we do. And it's difficult because that's not even the right. It's just fucking normies. You know, it's the people that show up for their court date because of their parking ticket.
Yeah.
It's just normal people. We understand playing by the rules, and the other side says we don't have to, and we can't. It's hard to find a solution to fight fire with fire when that involves doing the shit that the other guy does that we don't want to participate in.
Exactly. Yep.
It really puts you in a super weird spot in life because you have to make hard decisions about what you're going to do. And usually what that comes down to is worry about myself, worry about my family, worry about the moment. Because some of this shit's going to play out whether we like it or not. It really is.
Yeah, I know, dude, but that's the most important thing for me is that is the biggest reason why I don't get involved. Like a lot of dude, man, I remember this as clear as day, like it was yesterday. People are starting to get away from this too, thank God. Real quick, Vice Wizard said it's mental health is the issue. And people often ask, why does Japan or why does this other Asian country have such low crime or gun rate or gun homicides? It's because they don't encourage mental health. There has never been a time where you would go to the hospital and you would see a psychiatrist, you'll be evaluated, and they're like, okay, you're a very, very, very severe case of schizophrenia. So here's what we're going to do. We want you to openly talk to the people in your head and act out whatever they say. That has never been a fucking thing. They don't do that because you'll end up killing someone or killing yourself. But when it comes to somebody having gender dysphoria, they don't try to help them at all. They're just like, encourage it, dude, chop your dick off right away. Did you see that? There was like I think it was like somebody was getting questioned or being interviewed by Congress or something. I can't remember, dude. I'm not part of the whole movement, but they were getting interviewed and they were like, what does it take? She was a doctor, right? And she was like, what does it take for you to recommend a double mastectomy for an underage girl? Like, what does it take? What evidence do you have to see? And the doctor was like, oh, she just has to say she feels like she's a boy and we'll recommend it immediately. That's all. There is no evaluation. There is no psychological. And look, these people exist, but they need to talk to people and start figuring shit out because just letting them lean into it is causing more problems than it's actually solving.
It is. Here's the catch. They're not there. We learned this from Loveline in the 90s with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. The first question they asked every single person that called in with a weird quirk or a weird problem was, were you molested as a child? And I hate to go there because it fucking sucks and it's fucking depressing. But we got to be real about this shit. 99.9% of the time, the answer was yes. In some form or some fashion, whether it be mild or extreme. And they will not address that because that plays in to the perversions of the people that exist right now that are trying to push grooming and trannies dancing on their children at school, all this stuff. This stuff is a chain problem where if you don't cut off the chain and stop it, it keeps going from generation to generation. And anyone that had a weird uncle in their family or something like this knows it. They know it for a fact that if you
damn
don't cut
uncle.
off the chain, it will continue because they
Yeah.
will mess with some other person or some family member as a kid, and then they will repeat the behavior. And instead of addressing that and help those people deal with it, because it is possible, even though it's difficult and it sucks, and we hate to think about these terribly traumatic events. Like, that's the thing, man. I'm going to say right now, and I don't bring it up too often because usually I'm ripping on the left or ripping on some other stereotype that comes out of that um, political system, is I feel for these people. And I hate knowing that so many of these fucking liberals and these trannies and these this and this that were people that were abused as little kids. They were
Yep.
just kids. And no one's helping them through that. That's awful.
Yeah, they're
Help
not.
these people through this thing that probably 99.9%, you can look at the psychological studies of therapists that give you surveys that say, here's the percentage of people that have these weird hang-ups, and you'll find out that like 1% is due to like a hormone imbalance. It's almost always a traumatic event. And instead of helping these poor people with these traumatic events, they're using them as play toys and political tools
Yep.
and encouraging them to do things
Yep.
that are highly inappropriate and fucking disgusting by any metric that's existed in mankind, no matter how terrible mankind was at a period in history. We could have been the Mayans were cutting hearts out for the
Yeah.
sun gods and wouldn't have accepted some of this horse shit. So
Yeah.
I'll try to drop it here because I don't want to get super emotional on here and be fucking obnoxious and cringe. But we know what this comes down to, and we keep sugarcoating it instead of just saying what the reality is, that there's a lot of disturbed people that need legitimate therapeutic help. They need it so that they can function with the rest of us. And we want them to get it. And they're not
Yeah.
getting it. They're being encouraged to be fucking perverts around kids instead of getting help with something terrible that happened to them when they were just a little child. It's
Yeah.
awful. It makes me fucking sick. And I mean, I have to watch my little girls like a hawk. I can let them around my parents and my in-laws to stay the night. And that's as far as it goes.
Yep.
That's it, because those are the only people I know well enough to know that they're going to be fine if they spend the night at their house.
Yep.
You know, that's fucking pathetic, dude.
Dude, Joe, that's why. Like, look, there's a part of me. Like, look, I'm only what 6 years younger than you, right? There's a part
Yeah.
of me that's like, man, I wish I had, I wish I had children. Maybe one day I'd like to have children, but like in the current climate, I'm so terrified of that. I'm like, dude, something's gonna happen. It's like a battlefield now. It's like a minefield everywhere you go. Whereas when I was growing up, I get on my goofy little freaking bike and ride for like 4 miles to the quarry and do freaking front flips off the quarry, running from the guards that work there, hoping they don't freaking catch me, climbing like 12-foot walls that I should have fell off and died. And I didn't do any of that shit. Like I survived all that, and now it's terrifying to even. It's the advent of the social medias.
Oh, dude, and people think that's the 1950s. That's not. That was the fucking early 2000s.
Yes,
that was the early 2000s. You could still kind of trust that your kids could go in the fucking front yard to play with some level of you watching them to know that they're not getting snatched up.
Yeah.
And when I was little in the late 80s and the mid 80s, you could do even more. I mean, my parents marched me out to a bus stop every day, pretty far away from our house, and just left me there.
Same.
And it was fine. There was no issue.
My driveway was like half a mile long, a dirt road that led up to the trailer park. And I just walked my happy ass down to it, and I'd sit there in the cold waiting patiently for the bus to come by.
Exactly.
Like that's how it worked. Twisted Tragedy says how much to Fight Milk? $2.47. Thank you, Twisted Tragedy. Closest we've been in a while.
I mean, do you want me to do my thing early? I don't mind. I'll give them a little taste.
If we hit it, we'll wait till
all right. I'll be a good boy.
Danielle, I love you. I appreciate you real quick. We're going to pull up Joe's comic, Death, again, so you guys can see it. It already went up $100 since we checked it, I think. So let's.
It went. Yeah. It's
$1,000 actually, almost.
Big. Yeah.
So let's say the goal is 100K to get my boy his campaign funded and shipped out to all these great people. Here it is right here, Joe. You got it. talk about it for a minute. I'm going to pee real quick because I'm about to die.
Right
Go
on,
ahead.
my dude.
Go
No
ahead and
problem
talk
at all.
about
Hey, we just crossed 83K. That's huge for me. I appreciate it to everyone out there that's watching or have backed already or backed recently or tonight. It's a lot of work to do this book. It eats up so much time between family and children and being a work at home dad. Like I literally don't equate time to sleep at this point. I just hope for the best each day. So just so you guys know, this means the world to me that you're backing this and that we're getting the numbers up on this book. I'm trying to get it to 100K for multiple reasons. For one, it looks good. That's obvious. It's nice to hit that 6-figure mark. For two, I've been working literally for a year and a half on this thing. And even the rough ideas for it, I came about going back years and years, which is shocking for me because I'm not really a years and years guy. Like I'll see people saying that they're working on a project that they've had in their mind since they were like 12. I'm not really one of those guys. Most of my ideas I had when I was 12 were fucking stupid. I've looked past them a long time ago. But this is definitely something that it's a culmination of a mix of not only just things I love, but a story that I'm trying to tell that I think will invigorate you, whether you're a man or a woman or a child. There's something you will gain from it, and it should enthuse you about being a strong person, even when it's difficult. It's basically kind of like right now. We're living through some rough times, and rough times make strong people, especially if you have children or other things where there's other human beings in your life that matter to you and that you have to do things for, whether it be good or bad, that they don't know about, and you're fine with them not knowing about it. This book is very much in the vein of that idea of living through traumatic events and trying to survive them and come out okay, and the people around you coming out okay as well. Now it's sugar coated in mech, big monsters, high action, um, sci-fi of all type. You're gonna see dinosaurs with fucking laser guns. You're gonna see dudes with giant ass swords and force powers fighting each other. You're gonna see angels and demons and God alike. Like in this
There
world,
he is.
the Bible is real. God is real. Jesus is real. Because they're real to me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's a part of me where it's not the story is not a Christian story, but the themes are sewed in. It's kind of like people that don't know the difference when they say like all art's political. This is political. That's political. Those are people that refuse to accept that you can have political themes without trying to make a political statement. And that's kind of how this book is you're going to see good guys and bad guys that wage war on a government level. It doesn't mean they're morally right or wrong or good or bad. It has nothing to do with political statements. It's a theme. It's part of a story.
Yeah.
It's a way to get you from A to B so that your hero can be a fucking hero and your bad guys can be bad guys and not everything has to be this weird gray area. Like there's a touch of that. Like,
Yeah.
I have bad guys where he cares about his own children, but he still does shitty things in the process to justify it. That doesn't justify always being terrible just because you love your children.
Yeah.
Whereas other characters love their children and fight in a principled manner. So, that's the kind of themes I mean, where there's themes and there's ideas, but it's not political or morality shoved down your throat. It's just this is how people or creatures would react when put into these situations, especially if they have children, especially if they have wives or girlfriends or people they care about. So, and plus, my characters are like giant monsters. They're kind of ugly. So I'm going to get you to love something that's ugly, that's
Hell yeah.
strange, that's uncomfortable to you, that makes you uneasy with the way they look. They don't blink, but you care about their well-being, you know?
Yep.
So,
Hell
yeah,
yeah, dude.
check it out, dude.
Make sure you guys check it out. Death. Get on it, doggone it. Go back, my boy. Make sure you guys post the link, Shanny, in the chat. Appreciate you. Get the hell on it, dude. That's exciting as hell.
Yeah, thank you, dude. I appreciate everyone. And Cam, you know, like I was telling you pre-show, it's not like I have this massive YouTube presence. I make like a video like once a year on my channel. I've been learning the stuff and trying to get back into the groove so I can learn how to do this like you guys do.
Yeah.
And because it is a big aid in trying to make money, get your products out there, get your word out there, let people see what you're trying to do. And I got to make the best of these things that are at my disposal, like you guys do.
The fact that you're already almost fully funded there at 100K and you don't have this giant YouTube presence speaks volumes to the quality of your work. So that's kick ass. And I'm excited.
Thank you, man.
I'm excited to see how that goes. Legal Mindset with 100,000 won.
Oh, Drew's in the house. I love this guy.
Milk for the death. Joe deserves all the backing he can get working hard on something that is extremely detailed, but knowing it's an investment is a great art and an amazing story. Thank you, Mr. Andrew, Legal Mindset. I appreciate you, dude, getting us 140 from Fight Milk with his giant, delicious red boy. Thank you. And Twisted Tragedy, thank you, you beautiful, to the Fight Milk Fund. I appreciate you so much. God, the super chats tonight have been wild as well, boys. And even on locals, Matt himself, he said, the more we let people live inside a false reality that is conjured by their brain, we will always fall further from true facts. We live in a world that is organized by the understanding of fact. The more we allow these weirdos to change definitions, the more our reality is broken into true anarchy. And that's how it is. It's changing facts. It's when you look, there was somebody that released an article recently talking about how culturally diverse the UK was back in like the Renaissance period and how it was just the most like, and now it's not like that anymore in some places. And like this professor,
it was a bunch of white people mixed together. It wasn't like,
dude,
like ethnically diverse.
The professor got so pissed off. They were like, what the fuck? They're like, no, like you can't just rewrite history and say, oh, it was actually a bunch of, because they claimed it was populated by like a bunch of Muslims and Catholics and all these different. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was a bunch of white people. The only diversity you had was you had some Scottish, you had some Sicilian, you had some Italian. Like that's what you had. A bunch of different white people. You didn't have freaking like Muslims and shit. It wasn't like that. And they're trying to change history to fit modern diversity quotas, and that's bullshit. History has a lot of terrible shit that happened, but that's very important for us to continue having is the terrible shit to teach us that shit's terrible. It's the whole point. So,
dude, boomers are trying to deny how things work, and that's been the problem is since the late 60s when boomers gradually got control of things and have never relinquished it since.
Yeah.
Which I get, who's going to relinquish control. I'm not holding the obvious against people. It's just, it sucks because they're frustrating human beings. And bear in mind, my father was a boomer. My mother was a boomer. I loved them to death. They were great people. It's one of those things where, like, they want to deny things that are obvious. Like, I'll give this to example to people a lot so that they understand why. Yes, Japan has like low gun deaths, and that's partially because guns are illegal and partially because they have a certain level of respect for each other that they're brought up on so that they're calmer. But they also have a high suicide rate because pressure gets to them bad. Here's the catch though. For a farmer to have a sheepdog, what he had to do was breed 2 dogs and then train those puppies how to herd sheep. Then he had to breed that dog, train those puppies how to herd sheep. Breed it. It takes about 6 to 8 generations, but eventually the dogs come out knowing how to breed sheep with no instruction and no training. And I know it sounds simplistic and stupid, but the reality is It's the same reason alcoholics are generational. It's the same reason anything becomes generational, because you can breed things into genetics. You see it in slave classes across the planet. You can look at Europeans that have been under some level of in servitude or slavery or some version of being peasants, and it continues for age after age for thousands of years in some cases, because it's a lot of work to get it out than it is to bring it in. And there's certain things that we're going to have to always fight within ourselves or take on within ourselves. It can go either way, whether it's a good or bad attribute morally that has been applied to us, and no one wants to accept that, but that's the reality of it, and we all have to struggle with that and live with that in some like form or fashion, depending on what our families are like, where they came from, what our genetics are, what we are predisposed to be susceptible to.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, man. Like these cigarettes, my whole family chain smokes on my dad's side and drinks coffee like it's going out of style. It's going to be a struggle for me, but I have to work. Eventually, I got to stop smoking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just something where I accept that it's there, but I also accept that it's going to be more work for me to stop than maybe someone whose family doesn't struggle with those things.
It's weird too, because
Yeah.
my entire family for generations has been drinking like sailors, and I didn't start drinking until I was 27, and I never really had a problem with it until like recently. And now, when I say a problem, I mean I like to drink like at least one day a week, just sit back and drink, maybe 2 days a week. It's never been crazy for me, and I take months off at a time when I'm dieting. But man, I feel it. Like I'll be like, man, I want to drink so bad, like every day. I'm like, man, I would love to drink right now. I'd love to drink right now. That'd be great. I can't wait to drink. So it's Monday and I'm drinking White Claw because I didn't drink last week because of racing. But speaking of,
it gets too easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, you can just buy the shit.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way, real quick, Casey, which I think Casey's maxed out now. 4 bodyguards.
Dude, Casey has been dropping the monies.
Ham his shit balls on my ass today.
Holy
Look at this beautiful.
shit.
4 bodyguards, 5 bodyguards, getting us 40 away from Fight Milk. Only 40. Thank you so much, you sweet, delicious human being, Casey. I don't deserve even one of your red boys, but I'm so thankful that you choose to support me, this dumbass creator. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Casey. You're goated as hell. Get on it, doggone it. Thank you, baby. Yeah, it's like, dude, my dad's drank my whole life, and now he didn't. My dad didn't get shit faced every day or anything. I never really even saw him super drunk or anything. But he would drink beer. Like he'd get home from work and he'd drink beer until he went to bed, and like he was never drunk. So it was weird to me. Now, one time I did find him passed out in his underwear in the living room, and I had a wiener dog, and the wiener dog was laying on his back, and that's the only. So he might have been drunk that night. But like, that was like when I was 21 when that or 20 when that happened.
Beer and wine's perfect because it lets people pace themselves. It's kind of like White Claw. You can hard liquor. You can put a little too much in and not realize it and spiral. Yep. Beer and the malt liquor world, I guess you could say, it allows you, kind of like smoking weed over eating an edible. You can pace yourself so that you don't overdo it. Because if you've done it enough, you kind of know your limits. You know where you're at, and it's like, whoa, I better take it easy before I pass out or I get sick. You know,
dude. If I haven't drank liquor in a few months, I'll black out.
Oh, me too.
I'll black
me too.
out.
I mean, my head's a little spinny right now, and I've just been taking little shots of vodka here and there.
Yeah, dude. Oh, speaking of shots of vodka, Matt himself on Rumble with the first Rumble rant of the night. $50. He says, "Fight Milk Goal." Thank you so much, Matt himself. I love you. I appreciate you. That's officially Fight Milk, because I do count Rumble rants now because I'm not an asshole. Thank you, Matt himself. I love you and I appreciate you. Throwing in the purple boy on Rumble. I appreciate that so much. He's also a large whale. So Rumble added these logos beside your name if you Rumble rant, and they're little whales. They're little cute whales. And if you Rumble rant a lot, your whale just becomes like blue and then purple, and you got a cute last. It says supporter ++. So thank you, Matt himself. I love you. He also did one on locals as well. You're goated as hell. By the speaking of goated as hell, Wicked Virtue, what's up, baby? How you doing? The beautiful Wicked Virtue. Yeah, dude, my dad lived in his underwear. Dude, Lori, okay, I don't know what it is. My dad,
Yeah.
oh my God. So let me tell you this quick story real quick. This one
Go
time,
ahead.
I was hanging out with this girl. So I was 18 and this girl was 16. And she came over to my house and we were like dating, you know. And she was this adorable little like 5'1" or 5'0" girl, and she ran track, so she had like abs, and she had long crimson, like dark, deep red hair, and but she was not pale, she was tan complected, so she was beautiful, beautiful woman. And you know, like as she came over to my house and we were hanging out, and my dad would knock on my door, and I'd be like, oh yeah, and my dad would be like, hey, and he'd be like, can I come in? I'm like, yeah. And my dad fucked with me. And this is kind of why I wish I had children. So my dad opened the door and my dad's in his damn underwear at 6 p.m. in his underwear. And he wore whitey tighties, man. And he was in his underwear and he was rubbing his belly. And he's like, y'all need anything? You want me to make some hot dogs or something? And I'm like, no, Dad, it's fine. You don't have to do that. And he's like, all right, just making sure. And he like slowly closed the door. And the funny thing is my sister was really susceptible to being embarrassed by my parents. I was not. I like laughed my ass off. My dad's crazy as fuck. Like it was funny to me, and I'm sure that poor little redhead girl was like, "What the fuck?" Because now keep in mind, I grew up in a trailer park, so it was in the trailer as well. So you got this naked man and his untidy whities. Hey son, how you guys doing? Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. So that was my dad. My dad was hilarious. Great man. Great man.
Dads are the best, and this is something you'll figure out once you finally settle down here in the next 2 years and start making some babies.
Oh,
So I'm gonna give you a word of wisdom now, dude. Don't wait till you were like in your mid-30s like I was, because they will brutalize you. Part of why people had babies young in the old days was because you could keep up with children when you're young. By the time you're hitting your mid to late 30s, those children will absolutely murder you and brutalize you every day. And you love them to death, but they're making you lose your fucking mind, where you know deep down, if I was still 20, I could handle this much better.
I am in my mid-30s. That's the scary thing.
Dude, you better get on it.
I'm hitting 34.
Dude, you got to get on it. And I'm telling you, if you want to. And it's one of those things where it's like, just prepare yourself, because like it's the most fulfilling thing in the world.
Yeah.
But simultaneously, it is absolutely brutal at a certain point when you're trying to physically keep up with things that go 24 hours a day. They never get tired.
You know how men traditionally always want boys? For some reason, I want girls. I just want like daughters. I don't know what it is. You know, like something about me that wants daughters. I don't like
God will give you daughters if you have the kind of heart where you know you're going to be too rough on boys. Like my wife has told me this, because like before we had kids, I would tell her stuff like, man, if we have boys though, I'm going to be on that motherfucker like white on rice.
Yeah, me too.
Like I'm not fucking around. Like that boy's going to be a man when he grows up.
I think I'd throw him around and shit.
Yeah, we've only had girls, and it softened me for girls,
dude.
Because like they've got me wrapped around their finger. I do whatever those children
Oh
want.
my God, dude, Joe. So that makes me think, because if I had a daughter, I'd be like, she'd be sitting on my lap, and I'd be like, I love you, baby. Whatever you need, girl, I got you forever. Right? You're 16. Yeah. Here's your Corvette. Whoo! Like, you know, that's going to be me. But dude, if I had a boy, I'd be like, you're going to get a 1992 F-150 long wheelbase, and you're going to make sure it runs. It don't run, you motherfucker. No, because that's what happened to me when I was growing up. Dude, they would like, my sister got a brand new car. She got like her rent paid wherever she stayed. She did everything. You know, when she's growing up, they gave her all the shit she possibly could need, right, to be successful. Dude, when I was growing up, like, if I made a C on my report card, my dad was like, all right, I need to take his belt off. He's like, go to your room, wait for me. And I'm like, and he'd do it. And that happened so often. So like, it happened so often that my sister would have to protect me. I remember like my dad was like, I'm going to give you 3 licks. And I'm like, all right, Dad. And he's like, 3 licks is what you get. So and by the time he got to the 8th one, the 8th lick, I'm like falling over and passing out because of the pain. And my sister, which was like 2 years older than me, she's like 12 and I'm 10, getting beat. She'd have to come pull my dad off me because she knew my dad wouldn't do any he wouldn't do anything to her. But dude, he would be like, wake me up at 8 a.m. and be like, we're going fishing. Put your pants on. I'm going to teach you how to fish. And he'd be like, hey, I'm adjusting valves on this engine on this Jeep. You need to come outside. I need you to watch me. He did all it. He'd make me do shit. But my sister, man, they'd make a party for her sleepovers and get all the shit. Not me. No, dude. My car was a '93 F-150 that had run.
It's two different worlds, man. It's just like people want to think like, especially liberals, obviously, not your average person. They want to think like men just dominate everything just because. It's like, no, they're raised differently. They are treated differently, and it's not the way you think. It's not with the privilege you think. It's a good father. It's kind of like I'll give you a quick example.
Yeah.
And I know this might sound a little tired, but like, when people say, why does God allow bad things to happen in this world? It's because you're not going to be fucking men if bad things don't happen to you.
Yep.
And if you're not treated that way. No good father solves every fucking problem for their boys.
Yep.
They'll go the extra length for their girls because that's different. And it is. And to act like it's not is retarded.
Yeah.
But you have to treat boys one way, you have to treat girls another. And unfortunately, yes, it breeds girls that think they're entitled to everything. But to some degree, you have to raise strong but merciful boys. And this is right out of Death, actually, because it's a big theme in the book. You have to raise strong, merciful boys, if that's what you got. And you have to raise wise and loving girls, if that's what you have. And those are two keys to children. And it's part of raising wise, loving girls is making sure their father's an example of how they should be treated. Maybe it's not completely spoiled, but to some degree, it's treated right. It's that simple. It's you're treated above average because you're a fucking female. And I know some people don't like that, but that's just how it is. I will always have my daughters think that I am the best male in their lives.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where as a parent, you don't want your kids to ever leave you to some degree.
Yeah.
I want them to always know that their dad will always be number one, the number one dude.
Yeah.
Even if they get married and shit. They need that example set. And it's just part of the deal.
That's actually very important. Pete real quick. He says no more fifth place finishes. Looks towards the future and see nothing but podiums, vision board, that shit. Listen here, Pete. For one, real quick, I am very new to this. Racing is fucking weird. Like a lot of people think you just get in there and you push the throttle and then you go and then you turn and shit. It's not like that. It's you're to go fast on the edge, you're out of control the entire time.
Yeah.
At this most recent track, when you came off turn 2, like the banking changed and you had to get on the throttle and let the car set itself and push itself to the wall. And you're chasing the loose condition all the way up to the wall. It's weird. It's freaking alien. And no one knows what it's like until you're in that shit. People assume people watch Formula One, they watch NASCAR, they watch IndyCar. I could do that. I could get in there and do better than No, you couldn't. You would not. You'd finish fucking 8,000 laps down and last. It is not.
Develop the finesse to go 100-some miles per hour.
It's not what you
in a limited space. I would love to see it. That's a talent. That's work. That's practice.
This last racetrack, I was hitting 120 into turn 1. Keep in mind, 120 is not like as fast, not that fast, right? In comparison,
but it is though, dude. Most people are used to 70 max.
It's a very small track. It's like a 5/8 or a 4/8 mile or half a mile, and it's the turn 1 is so banked in, and it felt like I was going to shoot off into space when I was going into turn 1. It's crazy, and you have to trust yourself, trust your car, and then get better. And there's people in my league, my series, that have been running for 30 years and have championships. And people are like, why are you not beating these guys? And I'm like, because it was my 5th race ever in my life. Like, and these guys are so great. They will come up to you and be like, dude, you were fast. You had a lot of speed. And I'm like, you lapped me though. And they're like, dude, that doesn't mean shit. Like, you know, I've been doing this since I was 12 and I'm like 48. Like, so the fact that you were able to keep up with us, like at some points of these stints, it's a big damn deal. So congratulations. So it's really fun.
Yeah.
But it is frustrating every time I do this. Like people are like, I could do that. And I'm like, you have no idea. You have no idea. Like, it is not what you think. I've known people that contacted me and they're like, hey, I want to get into what you're doing. And I'm like, all right, sure. And I help them and they'll get their race car and they'll put a freaking 800 horsepower engine in that bitch and they'll set it up. They'll do everything they need. And then they get in that car and they'll go down the front straight at Rockingham and I'm going 165 miles an hour and I go by them and it's dangerous because I'm like, why are they going 70 miles an hour? And then they get out of the car and they walk up to me and I talk to them and I'm like, what's going on? What are you all right? And they're like, yeah, I can't do this. I'm done. And they're like, I can't do this shit. And like, because it's not what you think. It's not, it's completely different than driving your car on the interstate at 80 miles an hour max. Like, you know what I'm saying? So thank you, Pete, by the way. Yes, I will get the podium. And when I do, I'll announce it and I hope you come back so I can slap you down. Love you, Pete.
We need to see Cam spraying champagne.
Yeah.
We need to see Cam.
I'm excited.
You guys trying to control something that's going hundreds of miles per hour on a limited space like that, it's a whole nother level.
Yeah, people don't understand that when you're on ice. So like when you're on, these cars are slick tires, when you're going around corners, you are on ice the whole time and you're battling that shit. And the whole point is to make your car turn in the center of the corner and set, but not be overtly loose off the corner. And I got pretty close at that last track. But the issue is there's not a lot of practice time. So these guys have been doing it for 30 years. After I put on 50 laps, I'm like only a tenth off their times, right? Or half or 2/10 off their time, 3/10 maybe, right? After 50 laps of my practicing. But they've been doing it for 30 years. Imagine, you know, me at 30 years. It'd be different, but I'll be fucking 60. Let's hope I get better before then. Thank you, Richard. He said, did you win, son? Did you turn left? I did not. Damn you. Now, granted, this one guy that was like a veteran showed up and hit the wall head on. So at least there's that.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. Thank you, by the way. Real quick, we are 70 likes from the goal. Make sure you back my boy's book. It is a great book. We've pulled it up a few times. We'll pull it up again. Dude, every time I refresh it, it goes up $100 or $200. So you're going to hit that 100 easily.
It's crushing. I appreciate everyone coming out for it. It's it really makes a person feel good. You know what I mean?
Yep. Death has been the one that I've been excited for since I even heard about these campaigns for everybody. Now, obviously, I simped over Anna's campaign because she's my girl, right?
Yeah,
And I sent. Who else did I back? Obviously, I backed Tug's campaign, because he's my boy. So I try to back every single person. And recently, I got added to a campaign. So there's this thing that I was added to. It's called Law Cards. Where'd it go? Hold on, let me find it. Actually, I just have a picture of it. I can just pull up the picture. Where is it? And it's like these like trading cards you can collect, and it's based off of like LawTube, like all those guys like Nick Rekieta and Legal Mindset.
Yeah.
And I saved a picture from it the other day because apparently I'm also in the LawTube cards, and I'm like, but I'm not even a law. I'm just a redneck guy. Like, why? Here it is. All right, cool. Yeah, I'll pull this up. So I was surprised they included me, but it is pretty cool. But it's like trading cards, and here's the one that I'm in. If I can pull it up here, window, there it is, right there. Look at this goofy shit. Look at this.
Oh man.
Shit. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be hilarious. So it's me and Nick, and we look blazed out of our mind for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the law cards. It's gonna be fun. It's another like campaign thing. So yeah, I'm excited to see that. And what I want to do is get 100 of them and sign them at Montsuri. But I don't know if I'm going to even get one of them. I don't know how it works. So it's exciting. It's exciting. Billy Hatcher says this is the best stream. Well, I appreciate you. Joe Balls, dude, he's a great guest. Great guest. Some people are good guests. Some people are great guests. And Joe Ball, like, we've talked about a lot of important subject matter, and it's been fun as hell, man.
Well, thank you. Speaking of being a great guest, I will be right back. My children are awake and acting crazy, so give me like 5 minutes, okay?
Sounds good. Yeah, go ahead. Take your
All
time.
right, I'll be right back.
Take your time, man. Yeah, I'm no stranger to streaming like by myself. Trust me, I did it for years. Real quick, boys, 50 likes away from the overall like goal with Joe Ball. He's been an amazing dude today. Got me emotional at one point. I was like, oh, we gotta talk about this super chat real quick. It is wild as hell. It's wild as hell. But make sure you guys go back his book. The link will be posted. It just was posted just now. Get on it, doggone it. Go get your book backed by my boy. And make sure you guys pay attention to my channel because tomorrow we'll have a new video. All right, it's gonna be spicy as hell, and then I'll have a new video coming out. I missed my upload because I forgot to schedule the upload, and I was gonna have one Saturday, then I forgot. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna get on it, doggone it. Bilbo says can you do Naked Snake now? I can do Naked Snake. That's a great point. I'll do it right now, actually. You guys ready for Naked Snake? A lot of people are gonna leave, but we're gonna do it. Bilbo, high life. Get them likes with the Orange Boys real quick. We hit the orange ass night with Pete, and Twisted Tragedy and Bilbo. We hit the red ass night with Casey with 3 of them. Shanny, of course, as well. Legal Mindset as well. You guys are wild as shit balls. The Gold Boys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, and we're 3 away from an over the rainbow night. 3 away. 3 Gold Boys away. Thank you so much, Bilbo. I love you. I appreciate you. Carlos says, why do you hate me? Because you a bitch. That's why. Oh my God, it's Helena. Go up. Paige Ashley, what's up, baby? Where's she at? There's Helena. How you doing, baby? Showing up at the damn end here. Well, not the end, but we're gonna do Naked Snake real quick. And then me and Joe Ball are gonna do Fight Milk. So let's get the hell on it, doggone it. You guys ready to see my sunburn? Where's my damn bandana? Why do I lose my bandana every stream? I don't know where it is. I found it. 2 seconds. All right, boys. We're back. So, you guys ready? Because I have tan lines. If you guys don't know, we had a race in my NASCAR series last week. 2 days ago. We finished 5th, but we would have finished 3rd. Unfortunately, we had some brake issues, which I will be remedying. My brakes I lost my brakes, man. I use a lot of front brake because I charged the corners so hard. And I'm trying to get better at that. And I lost my brakes and it was rough. But that being said, I have a lot of shit that I'm going to fix it with. So that'll be fixed, hopefully. But I got a bad tan line. So I hope you guys are ready for my tan line. Let's do Naked Snake for the boys in blue. You guys ready? It's time for Naked Snake. Oh my God. 6:38, man. Let's do it, boys. We've hit Naked Snake for 142 streams in a row. Here we go, boys. Hope you guys are ready for the tan line. Thank you guys again. 2 seconds. Let's do this. With darkness and silence through the night. One of me. I'm searching, I'm melting to you. Here we go, boys. You guys ready? Alan Jones. But you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. Snake eater in my time. There be nobody else. Cry. It's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream snake eater. Someday we'll go away. Someday you feed on a tree frog. It's a trial to survive. For the day we see no light. Oh my God. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there be nobody else. Cry, it's the way I'd like to you. I'm still in a dream state. Oh my God, can you believe it, bitches? We did it again with Joe Ball. Hell yeah, boys. Thank you guys so much. Get the hell on it, doggone it. Bilbo! Amazing. Amazing, boys. We did it again. Naked Snake has been revived. Bilbo, I love you. Make it rain. All the Blue Boys, I love you. Jana Mac, Helena, of course, for the Aloe Fund. Evan Martin, Sin 8, Narco Wookie, Helena, Alan Jones. Thank you guys so much. Even a jack off hippo up in this bitch. Thank you, guys. Once Joe gets back, we're going to do 142, Billy Hatcher. When Joe gets back, we're going to do some fight milk for the fam in the back. It's going to be a lot of fun, dude. Don't forget, boys, Wednesday, the CAMELCAST 22 is going to be Ethan Van Sciver, who was on Tim Pool last week. That'll be fun. I love Ethan. I've been friends with Ethan for a long time, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Then Saturday, we got Legal Vices. Mr. Jeff, love that man. He's a great streamer. And I've been trying to get Rob, or sorry, I always say Rob for some reason. God, what is his name? I always forget. I always confuse him with Robert Barnes, but it's not Robert Barnes. It's the other guy that I watch all the time. Where is he at? Well, let me find him. I've been trying to get him on the show, but he has no social media. I literally watch his stream almost every day. Where is he? It's the guy that was on Nick's show the other day. Fuck. Not Law Number, no, not Viva. He's about to hit 100K. He's real close to 100K. Oh my God. Me. I don't see him. For some reason, he's not popping up immediately on my sub list. I tried getting Runkle on. But good logic. It's good logic. I cannot get that dude on my show because he has no social media. And I'm pretty sure he wants to come on. So I'm like, I don't know how to get in touch with him. Joe Ball's back.
I'm back. Had to let the dogs out and shit too. Sorry about that.
Oh my God. So I got a doggy door that I put in my, so I have a sunroom that's beside my pool. And I just it's got a sliding door, and I put a doggy door insert in it. And it has a doggy door in it. And then I just put security bars down the left side so you can't open it. So my dogs, I can just leave, and my dogs just exist while I'm gone on vacation or something. Now, granted, I do get somebody to come feed them, of course. But yeah, they're cool. They just chill. It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, animals are... I'm one of those people where I'm torn on it. It's like, I take care of and I care about the dogs I have, but at the same time, I can't wait till they're fucking dead, so I don't have to deal with them any longer. Like I would say I'm a little animal hater. Like I used to be an animal lover. Well, here's the thing too. Like once you own property and you have things that animals will destruct, and you have to keep spending money to fix it, it gets obnoxious, and you go, you know what? Fuck this fucking raccoon. Fuck this dog. Fuck this pot. Fuck whatever animal it is. I do not care any longer. stop messing up my property, and I have to spend money on all the time.
You know,
So like at this point, I hate fucking animals. I'll be honest. Like I'm nice to them. I take care of them because I have a solid heart. But I lose no sleep when one dies. I can't wait to go dig that hole in the back of the yard and toss them in there.
damn. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not quite there with that, but yeah, dude. So what I've noticed is giant dogs. So I have a huge husky. He looks like a Malamute, but he's a husky, AKC registered, whatever. But he's a husky. And then I have a German Shepherd, and they're just super clean. They're
Yeah.
just so and they go outside when they want to the doggy door and come in, and they just lay on like the floor. And all I have to do is run my little goofy robot. It runs every day. I have one of those robots downstairs because the whole downstairs is hardwood floor.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever they're called, little robot dudes, circle dudes, and
Yeah, little
Roombas, and it just takes care of everything, so it's always clean. But little dogs, man, little dogs just shit and piss everywhere. There's like, oh,
they have no regard. They're like cats,
yeah,
almost. You know, that's what I have. I have a French bulldog and a Chihuahua, and the Chihuahua I had years ago was like the perfect dog. I loved her with all my heart, and I treated that dog like a baby.
yeah,
But these last two I've got, even though they're good dogs and they're sweet dogs and they're
yeah.
cute and they're lovable and I take care of them, every day I think at least once about how like the minute they're dead, I'm gonna be so happy. Like I'll treat them good, but I don't give a shit. Once they're dead, and like I've got kids to worry about. I don't give a fuck about these goddamn dogs any longer. I can't wait till they're out of my life.
So there's one thing I'll agree on is when I'm like, okay, so when my German Shepherd's gone, that I'm not getting another dog, and then when Mal's gone, I'm not getting another dog. Like I'm gonna let them because I want to relax a little, but then I think to myself like I'm probably gonna end up with a fucking another Husky or German Shepherd. Like they're just chill, man, and especially when my wife left, the only thing keeping my brain intact was my cat. My one cat would just come and love on me. I'd be like real fucking sad. My cat would just lay beside me and just purr and like knead my like chest, and I'm like, oh, you, mwah. And then my dog, he would just come lay beside me, my big old freaking husky.
Yeah,
and I'm like, man, like if it wasn't for these fucks, I don't know what I'd have done. But I agree with you on the fact that when they're gone, there's like a part of me that's like, I don't want to replace these fuckers. I'm just gonna let bygones be bygones. But
dude, I've been cursed with cats and dogs that live for like 16 and 18 years. Like I know most people go, well, that doesn't sound like a curse. No, it is. I'm so sick of them living forever. I'm so sick of the fact that I take care of them and care about them. Like it's like I don't want to. Like my brain has X amount of focus per day. And that meter drains as the day goes on. And I have a lot of work to do in a 24-hour period every fucking day. And at this point, dogs are not worth it. They're just animals again. I know this sounds weird to like animal people, but you will reach a point in your life where animals are just animals again. And you'll look at them and think, fuck you, you fucking animal. If I have to clean up shit one more time, if I have to keep feeding you for X amount of years, I'm fucking sick of you. I love you. I'll treat you right because I'm not a moral degenerate. But when you're dead, I ain't gonna miss you in any shape or form. The ones I missed are gone, and I miss them, and they were perfect, and you're not. You're just a stupid fucking replacement. But once you're gone, and I don't give a shit. I'm not replacing you ever again. I would not make that mistake as an adult again.
Damn.
Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, dude, some animals are too big. Like whales, elephants, shit like that. They're too big. I don't trust them. It's like skyscrapers and 747s. They're too fucking big. Kill them. I don't like them.
Kill them.
Blue ass baboons are fucking disgusting. Genocide them. I don't care if you kill the babies. They're gross. There's a bunch of animals on this planet that need to be extinct. Yeah. Like I'm at that weird point in life where I fucking hate animals, even though they've never done a thing to me.
What about the baboons with the asses out? Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Or what are those things? They're called dragons. What are they called? They're like the
Kimono dragons.
Komodo dragons. Why do we have those?
They're disgusting, dude.
Terrifying.
They're sick. They sit there. Their fucking saliva is gonna dissolve you and slowly send you into a fucking a terrible acid trip as you're dying while they're swallowing you up whole. Fuck those things. Kill every last one of them. I do not care.
Tigers?
I don't.
Why do we need tigers?
Look, I am a Bengals fan, and I mean season ticket holder, and I love Joe Burrow so much. If he says, Joe Ball, go do this, no matter how stupid it is, I'll do it. I love the Bengals that much that I will fucking make every excuse in the world for the players on that team. But I will make an exception for tigers only because of my love of the Cincinnati Bengals. Otherwise, all the other animals can go fuck themselves.
I have a irrational fear of big cats, like tigers and lions. They freak me out, man. I don't like them. They like scare the shit out of me, man. So, God. Mostly Gluten says, get a St. Bernard. Outside of the puppy stage, they're lazier than most dogs. You don't have to bend over to bet. They live around 10 years. So then they can just be dead, and then you're good to go.
Fuck a St. Bernard. I'd send that motherfucker to the farm. And we all know what the farm is. We all grew up with at least one animal that went to the farm.
We're going to turn his ass into glue. Thank you, Mostly Gluten, by the way. I love you. I appreciate that. For another Orange Boy this late in the game, dude, it's still, we already hit Fight Milk and they're still piling them on.
It's still going.
Chank Setome says, fine, Joe. Good logic at the following pro. The hell does, the following pro. Wait, what the hell does that mean, Chank?
It's just a good rhyme.
Fine, Joe. Good logic at the following pro. It's just a good rhyme. So there's no rhyme or reason to that. Thank you. I appreciate it. You're a big cat. No, the big cats are terrifying. I'm so afraid of them. Like puma. I don't get like freaking those big giant black ones. What are they called? Panthers? No.
Yeah.
God, they're freaking terrifying. They're just
dude, mountain lions are super weird because like if you've ever like I don't know if you experienced this when you were in Colorado where they're commonplace, but like in the Midwest, like near the Appalachia where I'm at, mountain lions and cougars are not really uncommon, but they put out this weird screech that sounds like a human being killed.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the night. So those things will send people on all kinds of tangents and fear. when you think like there's a Bigfoot out in the woods slaughtering somebody in the middle of Ohio at Fort Ancient, and it's just a mountain lion screeching like a fucking idiot. And you just like, shut these goddamn things up. They're making me worried that something serious is going down, and it's just a stupid mountain lion making noise.
Dude, that's how it was. So when I grew up in the trailer park in Alabama, you'd hear cows getting like raped by bulls. And you would just hear from like miles away just screaming like, and you're like, oh my God. My dad was like, oh, it's just a cow just getting bent over by a bull. And I'm like, oh, okay. This must be really painful.
Disgusting cow sex. Makes me want to pig vomit.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. I think I have to go.
Animals are gross. Fuck animals. Come on, chat. Fuck animals. Kill every one of them. They're fucking gross. We don't cows, pigs, and chickens just for food. The rest of the animals, go fuck yourselves.
What the actual fuck, Sky Text? What are you talking about with the actual fuck? Real quick, I want to go get my Fight Milk. We're gonna pull up your book one more again. I want you to speak to it. Get them backins. Get them backins. And
backins.
I'm gonna get my Fight Milk, and then we're gonna do some Fight Milk, and then we're gonna call it a night. Get on it, doggone it. There you go.
Sounds good to me, brother.
There it is.
All right, gang. Yeah, death. It's the name is in the book. Obviously, it's a metaphor for a war book and the type of book you're getting yourself into. It is a 300+ page graphic novel. The American size versions, I guess you'd call it, they're 7x10s. They're going to come exclusively in hardback. So you can get a hardback line art version, which is just my drawings with the lettering and the sound effects, or you can get the color version, which is, I guess you could say, kind of like my final render if you were to see it as like an animated series or something. And then we have a manga version, which is a 5x7.5. so it'll fit perfectly on your shelf with all your other manga. The only difference is it doesn't read front to back like a manga. It still reads like an American comic. And that's like your best value. It's like $18 plus shipping for a 300 plus page book. It'll all be done in grayscale, just like a manga. And, you know, a lot of it's a love letter to anime and manga and other things from American comics, whether it be John Byrne's Fantastic Four run or George Perez's Teen Titans. You'll see little touches of Akira and Otomo and Evangelion and all these different things that I've loved throughout the years, and Berserk comics. I mean, the giant sword my character wields is pretty on the nose where I picked that up from. Some influences are on the nose with this book. You know, the Transformer influence is obvious. Some things are a little more subtle. But if you like Bible lore, religious themes, if you like war stories, if you like robots, if you like any of that realm of stuff, anime, manga, this is definitely the book for you. So check it out. I even have a 3-pack where you get everything a little cheaper if you buy it all together. And the $100,000 goal mark is for all books signed. So if I hit that point, I will sign all the books. Everyone's locked in for an ash can as well. The anime Matsuri from last year, the ash cans specifically for that convention. I will give everybody a copy of that at this point. So there's already some extras that have been added in. There's still original art tier that's up. Yeah, the pages are $1,000 a piece, but you get to choice pick kind of what you get. I do it in order of who backed first, but there's 300 pages, so you know you're going to get something good no matter what. The book's insane. Every page is over the top. So there's never a bad choice in that process if you really want original art. But yeah, check it out. If those are things that you're attracted to or you like, this is the book for you. And I guarantee you'll enjoy it. And you'll be pumped for book 2.
Hell yeah, dude. Get the hell on it, dog. I found this in the old people's stash.
No shit.
Smirnoff vodka. Guess what they also had? They had Belvedere.
But they had the Belvedere. It figures.
It was completely empty, though.
Well, I guess the Belvedere ain't so bad. I've only probably taken like 5 or 6 swigs off of it, and it's got me feeling retarded. I even heaved in the sink a few times before I changed a diaper a little bit ago. Put my kid back to bed.
So, explain to the chat what you're going to do for the fight milk.
For the fight milk? All right, gang. Check this out. Like, I didn't have all the ingredients for fight milk, but a lot of fight milk is about eggs. And if there's one thing that features a lot of eggs, it's some delicious mayonnaise.
Ooh,
so what we got here is some Berman's real mayonnaise. It's the equivalent to like Hellman's or like Kroger brand or any store mayo. So, wow. Cam is doing his thing. I'm going to take a heap and scoop of some mayo because you know what? It's good for the soul. It's good for the mind.
Dude,
and who doesn't love mayo?
Me.
Come on, man. What?
Dude, I would throw up, bro. God.
Look at this. Look at this delicious heap of mayo.
Oh my God. Look at him. You like this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Oh, geez.
You know what? I'm gonna take 2 for the chat. Check this out.
All right. Let me make my fight milk real quick while you're just freaking smashing mayonnaise in front of God and everybody. Hold on. There we go. Here we go.
Look at this.
Oh,
this is like 15 cheeseburgers worth of mayonnaise.
15 cheeseburgers. God. Oh. All right, here we go. All right. Let me get my fight milk ready while you're freaking you're just eating. You're still just doing it. I love how you just eat the mayonnaise while I'm doing it.
Yeah, dude. No problem.
I've had too much Belvedere. Here we go.
I'll bash the whole jar.
All right, here we go. You guys ready for this shit?
Let's do it. Let's see Cam do it.
All right, here we go, boys. After Joe smashed his fucking 5 scoops goddamn mayo over here, that makes like my skin feel weird. Ooh. Ooh. It smells kind of good. I like that. It smells like watermelon for real. Like almost, it doesn't even smell alcohol-y.
Maybe the age did it some good, man.
It's 35%.
That's pretty
Like-
hefty.
It's
I
like
mean, stuff I'm drinking is 40% proof. So yeah,
it's
you're
almost
right on
whiskey.
it.
All
Yeah.
right, boys. Get the hell on it, doggone it. We're gonna smash this bitch. We're gonna get on it. Let's do this. Another successful show with my boy Joe Ball. A lot of fun, dude.
Right on. Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, we'll be back Wednesday, of course, with Ethan Van Sciver. Be a lot of fun. Don't forget about that.
Yeah,
Gonna have a lot
check
of
it
good
out.
stuff there. This is actually closer to real fight milk because it has vodka in it. So get on it, doggone it.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Shanny says so he really just scooped at mayo like it's nothing. Yeah, that's weird. Oh God,
I'm
I'd
a Cincinnati boy, dude. We eat that shit up. I
I'd
kid you
rather do
not.
fight milk, to be honest. Here we go, boys. Make sure you get the locks up. We're 30 locks away from the goal. Get the hell on it. Doggone it.
Click those likes.
Get them bitch ass locks up, boys. Come on now. Here we go, boys. It's time again for the best part of the show. Don't forget, get them likes up and give your boys some love. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hit the hell. Oh.
Oh,
Oh. Oh. Oh.
dude. I mean, I love milk. I'll chug some milk next time. I'll get like a gallon of milk and just bash that shit with the mayo. I don't even care. But the eggs, dude, you're tough.
Ooh.
Eggs and whiskey and milk. I mean, three things absolutely disgusting mixed together.
It was rough, man. Pretty gross, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like it.
The tan lines bailed you out. I think they made you stronger.
I don't know about that, but I feel a little better. I think the vodka complements the milk a little bit more, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oof.
Dude. I feel fine. You look like you're about to fucking pig vomit all over.
It's gross. It goes away after a minute. It gives me a headache nowadays, though. It used to not, but now it's starting to give me a headache. Real quick, boys. I want to give Joe a big shout out for coming up on the CAMELCAST. Relatively short notice. It's like a 2-day. I appreciate it so much, dude. It's been a fun ass show.
Big time, dude. Same here. I appreciate you having me on. We've gotten to know each other a lot over the last year or so, and it's cool to finally get on a show together. You know, outside of Flashcast, just
outside of the floosh.
Yeah,
which I've missed a bunch lately because of freaking scheduling conflicts, and I feel bad because it's funny because I did go on one like a few weeks ago, and it was coincidentally the one that Flash didn't do. It was Anna that did it.
Yeah.
So everybody was like, "Oh, you just don't come with Flash on there." And I'm like, "No, damn it, it was a coincidence."
It's just how it goes sometimes. It's really cool that Flash gives us all the opportunity, to get on there and to get some extra notice off of the vast audience he has.
Yeah.
You know, it's really cool he does that for us.
He's a good ass dude.
Yeah, he is. He's a solid guy.
Make sure you guys like the stream. We're 20 likes away from 500. We hit Fight Milk. We hit the Naked Snake. Big shout out to Casey. I'm going to shout out some of these folks real quick. Casey with 3 Red Boys. Shanny, of course, as well with freaking all of the damn boys. Casey,
Yes, thank you, Shanny.
Legal Mindset, my boy. Don't forget, we didn't get one pink boy. Holy shit. We got like 6 red boys and no pink boys. Damn. That's wild. Mostly gluten. Bilbo, Pete. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Twisted Tragedy, Disco Cobra, Shanny, Lewis. I appreciate Matt himself. Karis. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Billy Hatcher, Samantha Bullock, Josh Boss, Holy Ozone, my boys. I appreciate you guys so much. Amazing ass stream with the boys tonight. Been a lot of fun. Don't forget, we'll be back Wednesday, son. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Don't forget, 14 locks away. Get the hell on it, doggone it. Get them locks in.
Yes.
Starting to feel pretty tipsy. We'll be honest.
Me and Cam are both old. We're gonna need bedtime sooner.
Yeah, I'll probably go sit.
We're going
I have a
wake
theater
up on the
room.
floor.
There's a theater room in my house in my mother-in-law suite that I built. I'll probably go lay in there and turn on some bullshit and just pass out.
Turn on Empire Strikes Back and be pissed you dozed off during like right before the Hoth scene kicks off.
Yeah,
hard.
dude, that'd be good. That might turn that shit on, to be honest.
Yeah,
God, it's a great movie, man.
it is.
Thank you, Jesse Bott. Love you, Shani. I love you. Appreciate you. John Beert, I love you and I appreciate you. Billy Hatcher, I love you and I appreciate you. I think Cody. I think that's who Cody's having on Wednesday. Wait, what'd you say, Billy Hatcher? Ethan Van Scaver. Guess who I have on? He has a shit take on manga. I bet I have a shit take on manga too. I'm not an anime guy. I'm like,
God bless Ethan. He's just out of touch on how that stuff is, and it's not like any fault of his own. It's just like if you don't pay attention to it, you don't understand its level of impact. But you know, he knows American comics, and that's what counts for
that's
America.
what counts. That's all that counts. Thank you guys. I know you're not anime. That's for damn sure. I would rather die. 11 likes away from 500. I appreciate you guys. I love you. Get the hell on it, doggone it. I'll see you guys Wednesday, and then there's a new video tomorrow. Don't forget about that video. Don't forget. It's going to be spicy as hell. See you guys next time. And also, I'll be having a stream or I'll be having a CAMELCAST this month with Gary Nerdrotic and Nick Ricada on the same stream.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Nick said yes to it. I keep forgetting to ask Gary. I'm sure Gary will do it. If he doesn't, then that's fine too. I know I'm getting dinner with Gary in like a few days or something.
There you go.
I'll be hanging out with him regardless in real life. It'll be a lot of fun. Somebody said raid Rikita Law. I can't raid Rikita. Hold on, let me see. Rikita. Oh, I can. There we go. We'll raid Rikita. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Get the hell on it, doggone it. I'll see you guys next time. Hell yeah.
Later, gang. Yep.